at Rusty Bethel Drive. I'm Paisol Forbes. This is ZNS.
It's What's Trending with Jimenita Swain and the Bahama Beauty at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas from Studio A. It all starts right now.
And welcome everyone. Today is Monday, March 3rd, and you're tuned into the ultimate destination for all things lifestyle, entertainment, and everything in between. I'm Jimenita Swain, and you're watching What's Trending, the show where we bring you the latest trends, hottest news, and insider tips on living your best life. Whether you're here for fashion, food, fitness, or the latest buzz from social media, we've got you covered. Let's dive in. U.S. tariffs against Canada and Mexico will go into effect on Tuesday or tomorrow, but their level will be decided by President Donald Trump. Not from the U.S. Commerce Secretary. President Trump has threatened to impose 25% tariffs on his two neighbors on March 4th in response to what he says is an unacceptable flow of illegal drugs and migrants into the United States. Well, today, March 3rd, is I Want You to Be Happy Day, a special day dedicated to spreading joy, kindness, and positivity to those around us. This day was created to remind us of the power of simple acts of kindness. It encourages us to reach out to those who we care about, letting them know that their happiness matters. It's not about the grand gestures. It's about taking a moment to bring a smile to someone's face, to lift their spirits, or simply to offer a kind word. And some call him one of the world's most prolific blood donors, whose plasma saved more than 2 million babies, has died. 80-year-old James Harrison died in his sleep at a nursing home in New South Wales, Australia. Known in Australia as the man with the golden arm, Harrison's blood contained a rare antibody, anti-D, which is used to make medication given to pregnant mothers whose blood is at risk of attacking their unborn babies. Well, as for what's coming up in today's show, as fertility rates continue to decline globally, an increasing number of couples are turning to assisted reproductive technologies to build their families. Hear from an expert on measures you can take to break through some of the challenges. Also, a new exhibition opened recently at a local art gallery, and we were there to take you inside. And Simplify Your Life Day. Sounds easy, right? Learn some tips to make your day easier. That and so much more right after the break. You're watching What's Trending.
Speaking at the 2025 Tourism Updates press conference, Director of Operations and Product Development at the Tourism Development Corporation, Dwight Gibson, highlighted the organization's success in 2024 and outlined its plan for 2025.
Our mandate remains clear: to enhance, diversify, and elevate the Bahamas' tourism product while empowering our entrepreneurs and strengthening the economic viability of our nation. Our venture pitch competitions expanded across Exuma, Nassau, Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Bimini, awarding over $120,000 in grants and provided targeted business support to entrepreneurs to grow, strengthen, and scale their tourism-related businesses. Our Home Sweet Home initiative, launched with a $1.2 million investment to increase room inventory and create entrepreneurial opportunities. Located in East Downtown Nassau, our pilot incubator program provided 12 Bahamian entrepreneurs access to low-cost retail spaces, direct access to tourism market, and the business development support. As we look ahead, we are poised to elevate our impact, rolling out initiatives aimed at enriching the overall visitor experience, strengthening support for tourism entrepreneurs through the following key initiatives. We will raise industry standards through our Hospitality Assured certification, aiming at improving service excellence with sessions that began in January. Our downtown food truck bar, a soon-to-be destination hotspot, offering a unique blend of culinary delights, art and entertainment, and community interaction. As we move forward in 2025, the Tourism Development Corporation remains steadfast in our commitment to empowering Bahamian entrepreneurs, enhancing our tourism product, and driving sustainable economic growth.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Michael Miller, and this is Tourism Today.
Fertility issues are posing growing concerns globally and right here in the Bahamas. Statistics show on the world stage, 1 out of every 6 people are living with fertility drawbacks, and 1 out of every 4 experience pregnancy loss. While the conversation is set to be very silent, Dr. Latazia Stewart continues to promote discussions to garner feedback from medical experts on ways to deal with the challenges. She joins us in studio today to shed some light on the gamut concerns. Dr. Taz, welcome to What's Trending.
I thank you. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Awesome. So talk to us. Before we get into the details, what are some of the improvements or breakthroughs you are seeing with this particular issue?
Well, one of the greatest things that I can attribute to some of the work that has been done so far is that we're seeing more women and men come forward and being a little more open in sharing their stories. And that is one of the things I am very big on seeing happen in our country. Folks realizing that they don't have to stay silent in their challenges and knowing that there is hope.
That's a great place to start. Now, we know this is a global issue, but where do we stand as a country?
So that particular data is not readily available. I am in conversations with the Ministry of Health and Wellness around opportunities for us to have more research done in this specific area. But we know, as you stated earlier, the statistics tell us 1 in 6 globally, and we're a small country in the world. Yes. So that number can be even higher for us.
Right, that's something to consider. So you are mounting the 2nd Fertility Empowerment International Conference in April at the Atlantis Resort. So talk to us about how is this conclave structured to benefit those with fertility issues?
Yes, so this conclave actually goes beyond even just those that are struggling with fertility issues. We're talking also about our leaders and our business organization leaders, our government leaders, civic leaders, who have individuals in their communities, in their workplaces, and in their groups who could also be struggling, but yet how do they support them? So I want to make sure I put that on the record, that folks know that it goes beyond just those who are challenged with fertility issues. But to share a little bit more about some of the specifics that will be covered, those that may be struggling with PCOS, fibroids, endometriitis, one that many people don't hear about.
Not at all.
We will have conversation about that. Then there are singles who may be wondering, you know, I plan to have children someday, right? That's what we say. And they may be wondering if there's anything that they could potentially do to preserve their fertility. Okay. We know also that cancer individuals, there are many who are of childbearing age who have to consider what will happen to their fertility if they were to begin chemotherapy treatment, because there is an impact to that as well. And so we'll talk about fertility preservation and things of that nature that can support individuals beyond just even those who are actively trying to conceive.
So that sounds like you're going to cover everything. And we see that from what you said, you're going to be targeting both men and women. How common is this issue in men, and what are some of the challenges that they face?
Yeah, so research tells us a lot of people think that fertility issues is one that is mostly a woman issue, right? But the data tells us 1 1/3 is because of women, 1 1/3 is because of men, and 1 1/3 is unknown. And so when it comes to, if we look at it, a man and a female could be contributing 50% to the challenge that they may be having in actually conceiving.
Wow, that's something to think about. Now, outside of a conclave, how can these individuals obtain assistance, or are there still more in terms of drowning out the silence? How do they get more information on this?
So that's where I am trying to make a difference in our community. I do have a fertility support group that we meet virtually, and occasionally we do have in-person meetings. Last month we met at Le Chateau. Last fall we met downtown at the picnic brunch, where we get together and we just have conversations to let individuals know, hey, it's not just you. You're not alone in this particular challenge. There are others who are going through it. I am working with other groups, civic groups in our community regarding additional outreach efforts. Also reaching out to businesses regarding having lunch and learns and workshops. See, a lot of times folks are like, well, why is it such a silent issue? Why is there such stigma around it? It's because we're not talking about it. And the thing is, once we can break the silence around that in our various communities and workplaces, it will help to let individuals know, hey, they're not alone. And the data tells us that they're not. I suffered in silence for many years in the secret shame that I was one by myself, especially as a person of faith. We don't hear it in our churches. We don't hear it in our workplaces. And so the more we can have more of these conversations in these settings, it will truly help to make a difference.
And talk to us too about your role as an educator. How do you celebrate that? And I see you have a book with you as well.
Yes. So I am an educator by profession. I've been in higher education for the past 22 plus years. This has been a space now I've graduated a little bit more to focusing on because of the lack of education in this space. So I believe that's important for providing community education around fertility, from our young women to those that are in, almost ready to enter retirement. Many of them are of the belief that, oh, I'm not trying to have kids, or I have grandkids already. I don't need to learn anything about this. But you may have a niece, you may have a daughter, you may have a relative, a neighbor, a choir member, right? And how do you now provide support and resources to them? And it's my hope that by individuals coming to this particular conference that we're hosting in April, they can become more educated and empowered on how to serve those that are around them.
That seems very fair. Well, Dr. Taz, thank you so much for bearing on what's trending today, and all the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you.
Well, What's Trending returns in a moment.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exuma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass it along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
Diet-friendly special.
A new exhibition opened recently at the Current Gallery at Bahama, and we were there to take it all in. The abstract offerings of There's Always a Story.
It's amazing. They did a beautiful job in the way they set it all up, and I must say I'm a little overwhelmed because it looks so good, you know, and I'm very proud of it.
It was his first time showing his art to the world, and retired veterinarian Dr. Peter Brazel couldn't be more proud of his work that makes up the abstract exhibition, The Story Goes On. He joined artists Stacey Lawrence and Jason Benet in the showing. Curator Josh Ritchie on selecting the artist.
Jason Bennett is one of our main artists that we've been working with at the gallery for a few years, probably since our start in 2018. And I've been following Stacey Lawrence's work for the past few years on social media. And Peter Bizzle is actually a friend of mine, and he started painting during the pandemic. And so once I saw what Peter was doing, and he started creating these very ultra minimal, colorful, abstract pieces that are very inspired by the islands of the Bahamas and the colors of the Bahamas. And then seeing Stacey's work, which is kind of like a really beautiful middle ground between Jason Bennett and Peter's work. I just had this vision one day, and I was like, I feel like I could see these three working together in an exhibition.
The exhibition, he says, took about 5 months to pull together.
I think this exhibition is really special because it shows an art form that doesn't always get the props that it deserves in the Bahamian landscape. I feel like abstract work can sometimes be very misunderstood by the general public, and so to give that art form a platform like this and let people experience it, I think it's definitely something worth checking out. Yeah.
2 of the 3 artists were in attendance on opening night.
I've always wanted to paint, and during COVID, when I got tired of doing jigsaw puzzles, I was doing Van Goghs and various art things that my wife bought for me, and I decided, well, why don't I get some paints and have a go? And so I started about 2021, and now I paint just about every day, and I really, really love it. I evolved into acrylic on canvas and acrylic on panel, and went from stripes to crisscrossy things, and the latest ones are the spirals. That's the one I've been doing more recently. And for me, painting is a meditative process because it's a wonderful way to just be peaceful and quiet, to stop your thoughts and put all your attention onto whatever it is that you're doing. And it's a way of getting, you feel very uplifted and very alive, and it's a wonderful feeling.
Artist Stacey Lawrence describes her work as minimalist.
Mostly all of these pieces are really inspired by the Bahamas. My visits and my time spent in the Bahamian Islands, they're very oriented towards the memories, the places and spaces that I keep in my mind and translate into my artwork. I love the water. I love the way that I feel when I'm here and swimming in the water, the way that the coastline feels, the color of the water, the animal life in the water, the culture, the music. There isn't anything I don't love about the Bahamas. People like to know a little bit about the Swim Float series. I just got through talking to someone about that, and I like to say that's my church. That's my place that I go to for reprieve. You know, everything is different. Sometimes things take a long time because they're in oil. Sometimes things get completely reworked. Sometimes there could be a painting show up in 2 hours. It's all just a matter of what comes out, like how the ending comes, and I'm sure that if I took one piece home today, I could rework it again.
As for why you should view the exhibition wrapping up on March 20th.
Because my art is a bit different than a lot of the art. It's a new angle on it, and I think people probably will enjoy seeing that.
Commercial gallery layer is a big part of what identifies us. So this particular gallery, which is the current proper, which is in the rotunda at the resort, is normally where we curate the exhibitions that are on the kind of shorter rotation where, you know, works are for sale and we have openings every few weeks. And so that's what we're experiencing tonight, you know, and this is a new show that's curated by my curatorial team, and it's, you know, it's great to see people out here and, you know, enjoying the works. It's amazing.
Well, March 3rd is Simplify Your Life Day, a day designed to help you clear the clutter ease the chaos, and finally give your brain a break. Because let's be honest, who doesn't need a little simplification? We live in a world full of constant noise, notifications, emails, to-do lists that never end. It's like your life is on fast forward and you're just trying to catch your breath. But that's why we have the Simplify Your Life Day, to slow down and simplify. So how do you celebrate? First, take a deep breath. Then clear the space where you want to go. Whether it's your closet, the dreaded junk drawer, get rid of the things that you don't need. Trust me, your future self will thank you. Step 2, simplify your schedule. Got 42 events on your calendar? Well, it's time to start to say no to the ones that don't spark joy, unless, of course, it's your mom's birthday. Don't mess with that. And here's the don't do part. Don't get overwhelmed. Simplifying doesn't mean perfection. It's not about having a Zen garden in your living room unless that's your thing. The goal is just to clear some mental space so you can focus on what really matters. So on today, March 3rd, take a pause, declutter your life, and give yourself the gift of simplicity. You might just find that when you strip away the noise, life gets a whole lot more peaceful and maybe even a little bit more fun. Well, we'll have more after the break. You're watching What's Trending.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting TingsyBahamas.com.
Hi, I'm Brent Burrows, Vice President of Retail and Sales at CBS Bahamas and the CBS Pro Store. Not only do we guarantee the best prices on all your favorite building materials, but we're proud to offer the best delivery program in all of Nassau. Whether you buy one box of screws or a truckload of plywood, island-wide delivery is just $5. And for our family island customers, we're proud to offer complimentary drop-off to the mailboat of your choice. Visit us today at the CBS Pro Store on Robinson Road and check out our website to set up your next delivery.
It's Monday, and you know what that means. The Bahama Beauty is here to tell us everything that happened on social media over the weekend.
It's an extraordinarily happy Monday for Bahamian shoppers. Your cries and complaints have been heard. Egg prices at all SuperValue locations have been reduced to $3.79, pre-VAT of course. Shoppers can now go back to enjoying their favorite egg riddle dishes. Oh, the miracles that happen when we use our voice. The 2025 Oscars have officially wrapped, and let me tell you, the stars came ready to shine. But, of course, I've got my absolute favorites. Ariana Grande stunned in her custom Vero wine gown that was a perfect blend of elegance and drama. The dress features a voluminous layered tulle skirt in a soft lavender hue, creating an ethereal and fairy tale-like vibe. Adorned with sparkling crystal details, the dress had a timeless romantic feel with a modern twist. The whole look radiated grace with just the right amount of glamorous flair, solidifying her as one of the standout fashion moments of the night. It was clearly a wickedly good night in fashion for the Broadway stars of Wicked. Grande's co-star Cynthia Erivo also brought her A-game in a custom emerald green Louis Vuitton gown with a sleek, tailored silhouette and a sculptured asymmetrical neckline that added an edgy, modern touch to the otherwise classic design. Powerful yet elegant. I love it. Halle Halle Berry truly shattered all red carpet expectations, hitting us with a stunning, unforgettable Nicholas Gibran gown that was a true masterpiece resembling a fractured mirror, and it was absolutely jaw-dropping. The dress was a stunning creation with a futuristic, high-fashion vibe. The fabric featured sharp reflective metal shards carefully arranged to mimic the look of fractured glass. It gave the whole gown an edgy, abstract feel while still maintaining that classic red carpet glamour. The Oscars wasn't the only red hard carpet this weekend. The Brit Awards took place at the O2 Arena in London on Saturday, and those girls did not come to play. Everyone's new favorite girl, Sabrina Carpenter, looked absolutely stunning in a custom look by Georges Hobieka that literally dazzled from head to toe. The baby pink gown featured a fitted bodice with silver shimmering beadwork that created a dazzling effect under the lights. Sprinkling in the sheer paneling absolutely gave an ethereal elegance while still feeling modern, modest, and glamorous with just the right amount of sexiness. And this one really had my jaw on the floor. Love Island's Whitney Adebayo turned heads donning a pale gray hooded gown with sculpted hip panels, which garnered significant attention. Despite the negative critiques from so-called fashion critics, the dress was an artful avant-garde masterpiece that surely turned heads and had people talking. Congratulations are in order for model Winnie Harlow and the new Milwaukee Buck Kyle Kuzma as he popped the question in a super romantic Turks and Caicos getaway. The pair stunned social media with jaw-dropping photos from the celebration taken by Bahamian photographer Jamie Bruce. Kuzma first decorated a private plane with roses, balloons, and champagne and presented Harlow with an 8.5-carat oval-cut diamond ring he personally designed. Must be nice. Michelle Trachtenberg, the talented actress known for her roles in Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Gossip Girl, has tragically passed away. The 39-year-old was found unresponsive in her Manhattan apartment by her mother, who had arrived for a planned visit. Trachtenberg's battle with liver disease became public after she revealed in late 2024 that she was facing severe health challenges, which led her to undergoing a liver transplant. The condition had reportedly been ailing her for some time, though details about how long she had been struggling with this disease were not fully disclosed. The transplant was thought to give her a renewed chance at recovery, and she appeared to be making progress in her health journey. However, in the wake of her passing, some reports suggested that complications from the transplant may have been a factor in her untimely death. Michelle was known for her strength and resilience, having continued to work on various projects while managing her health. Her passing has left many of her friends and peers in shock, as she had been a vibrant figure in the entertainment world. Rest on, Michelle. R&B and soul singer Angie Stone tragically passed away at the age of 63 in a car accident on Friday. The incident occurred approximately 5 miles south of Montgomery, Alabama on Interstate 65. Stone, along with 9 other passengers, were traveling in a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van after a performance when the vehicle overturned and was subsequently struck by a semi-truck. She was the sole fatality among 10 occupants. Rest easy, Angie.
Here at Immigration Care Service, you can trust us, especially if you have experienced issues or problems with the U.S. immigration at the borders. We'll do our best to provide options and solutions to immigration roadblocks, so travelers can continue visiting the U.S. and residents can continue living their lives in the U.S. without worries. The best part? Our services are affordable and accessible. Take the mystery, confusion, and fear out of your immigration concerns. Contact Immigration Care Service today.
Diet-friendly special.
the time we have for today. A huge thank you to our incredible guests for sharing their insights and stories with us. As always, we will be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. with more exciting guests, thought-provoking conversations, and a lot of laughs, only on the ZNS Network. See you later.
At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is ZNS.
This is the Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition has a look at stories making news tonight.
Police investigate the circumstances surrounding the abduction of a 63-year-old female. Plus, Bimini residents staging a protest against an environmental hazard. But first, egg prices drop below $5 in the capital. Will Grand Bahama see the same reduction?
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
Government has been pushing sourcing supplies from other markets as well that can make it affordable for consumers throughout the Bahamas.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks for tuning in. Topping the news tonight, shoppers in the nation's capital can breathe a sigh of relief as one local egg supplier teams up with a new partner to produce high-quality eggs at a more affordable price. The company approached the Ministry of Agriculture with a request for lower prices, and today the government granted that request. But what does this mean for the Northern Bahamas? Our Jolanda Thompson-Everest has the story.
The price of eggs has soared worldwide, becoming a significant burden for many customers. However, relief may be on the horizon as SuperValue, a grocery store in the nation's capital, has successfully sourced a new supplier capable of offering eggs at a more affordable price. It was announced this morning by the Ministry of Agriculture in partnership with BAMSI that the price of eggs at the store has been reduced to $3.79. Senator Randy Rule, Executive Chairman of Consumer Protection, believes that Grand Bahama will soon experience a similar drop in prices, benefiting consumers in the region.
Government has been pushing sourcing supplies from other markets as well that can make it affordable for consumers throughout the Bahamas. And so this today was the first step in a part of that sourcing.
The senator explains that SuperValue's new partnership is with a reputable supplier who already has an established relationship with the government.
One of the government initiatives in terms of the trade diversification program is to allow suppliers to look at other markets where they can source similar products with the same amount of quality, same good quality, to be able to provide Bahamian consumers throughout the length and breadth of the Bahamas with affordable supplies.
Rule further adds that business owners in Grand Bahama can follow suit by partnering with the same supplier or by sourcing a new yet credible supplier.
I think a price of $113 that includes a number of dozens of eggs. I don't know the exact number, but this is something that the suppliers within Grand Bahama and other family islands could take advantage of right away.
Roll explains that this decision aligns with the Prime Minister's commitment to reducing food costs across the board. Starting April 1st, the government will cut the VAT rate and will continue exploring ways to lower food prices. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest.
Well, in other news, the quick thinking of one Grand Bahama woman may have saved her life. Police say it is a domestic situation gone wrong, one that saw a woman taken away from her home at knife point and fighting for her life behind the wheels of a car. Cleopatra Murphy has more.
A 63-year-old woman is in serious condition and recovering at the Rand Memorial Hospital after she was abducted and forced to leave her home on Sunday by an assailant police say is known to her.
reported that she had recently arrived at home, but she was accosted by the same male who's known to her, who demanded that she return to her vehicle and drive away, which she did. And while doing so, this male would have stopped her to the left arm multiple times with a sharp object.
Police press liaison officer Superintendent Stephen Rowe says the duo had been driving along the airport road when the vehicle got into an accident, and the victim used that chance to flee the vehicle, a move that possibly saved her life.
During the time, I guess she felt as if she was doing the right thing for safety reasons. So at this present, I can say that I think she did the right thing, because it could have stolen worse. And luckily for her, and the officers' quick action, able to capture that suspect or that male on scene.
For individuals who may find themselves being abducted or kidnapped, Roll offers these tips.
Don't let them take it to another location if it can be avoided. Try to get police's attention in the nearby area or even passing to avoid further harm to yourself.
He advises, gauge the situation and try to escape if you can avoid further harm to yourself. With the incident causing fears among the public, he offers this.
There's no need for concern at this present time with abduction. However, this matter, based on investigation, it's a domestic matter. Like I said, we're still investigating this matter at present, and hopefully have this closed very shortly.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Also in news from police, a desperate search is underway for a 56-year-old American woman who reportedly jumped overboard following an argument with her fiancé on a cruise ship. According to reports, police are investigating the circumstances surrounding this incident in waters approximately 17 nautical miles off South Grand Bahama. Police say sometime around 11:30 a.m., officials from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force reported the incident to police in Grand Bahama. Later, the incident was reported to police in New Providence by the ship agent for the Nassau cruise port. Preliminary reports indicate that on March 2nd, shortly after 10 p.m., the victim is alleged to have gotten into an argument with her fiancé and unfortunately jumped overboard. The U.S. Coast Guard, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, and Air Miami HMH-65 searched the area with negative results. However, due to weather conditions, search efforts were temporarily suspended. Police say the search efforts will continue as soon as weather conditions permit. In news from Bimini, a garbage fire consisting of alleged toxic materials has been burning for several days in North Bimini, and now some residents say they have had enough. A protest was held this past Sunday, and tonight they are appealing for the powers that be to intervene in this situation. Matthew Martin Burrows spoke with the residents on this matter.
Rich, toxic white fumes stemming from a garbage pile fire fill the air around North Bimini, as residents say the construction company OPAC is who's responsible for the harmful vapors.
My understanding, what's being burned is coming from OPAC itself. That's a construction company that basically does everything on this island, and they just burn at will instead of having it shipped over to South Island where the burning dump actually is.
Well, just like in any other country, there's got to be a solution to the garbage, right?
That's John Vanderhoven and Terry DeGrosse. They only stay in Bimini for 6 months out of the year, particularly during the winter. They say this behavior by OPAC has been a recurring issue over the past few years and has always been a nuisance. However, as of recently, activity has increased.
Like rubber and tires and golf carts and paint and everything else that's left over at their yard, and they just every now and again burn it, and it's very toxic. My wife spent 4 days in bed. We talked to a neighbor today that had to move out of his house for 2 days because he has 2 little girls. Security guards walking outside around here.
Coughing
and headaches.
For days.
And my wife was in bed for 4 days. She couldn't even breathe.
John Vanderhoven says the behavior has him questioning the empathy OPAC has for the residents and the environment around.
What is the value of somebody's life or somebody getting diseases hurting the birds, the fish, the aquatic population, it trickles down to everything.
Maybe a lawsuit.
Yeah, well, maybe
that motivates. Yeah. I don't know, but
it is sad when they don't put people's health as the #1 priority. What's somebody's life worth?
Now, we did reach out to Family Island Administrator for Bimini, Eva Arthur. She declined to interview. However, she insists the matter is being thoroughly looked into. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Matthew Martinborough.
Now, we also attempted to reach out to OPAC for a comment on this matter. However, our calls were not returned up to news time. This is a story we will continue to follow. Or from the island of Abaco, a new leader takes the helm at the Chamber of Commerce following the resignation of former President Daphne de Gregory-Miolis. In this report, hear how new President Chantal Sands says she plans to strengthen business ties and help drive the island's ongoing recovery.
I joined the Chamber as secretary a couple of years ago, and I just felt there's more that can be done.
Chantal Sands has taken the reins as the new president of the Abaco Chamber of Commerce. Her first priority, she says, will be to strengthen ties between the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation, along with various government agencies, in order to establish the Abaco Chamber as a central hub for business development.
Persons coming in to invest in the island and, do business, the existing businesses as well, they can use the chamber as the point of contact. And in doing this, I feel like investors and government agencies will ensure their consistent messaging and a structured approach to addressing business concerns. Even as we rebuild and restore, there are things that need to be more structured.
But she says the Chamber's first major initiative is focused on education, adding that conversations are already underway with the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce, the Ministry of Labor, and the Tourism Development Center to develop training programs aimed at building a stronger, more capable workforce.
By investing in education and training, the Chamber helps to ensure that businesses have access to employees who can help their business overall, improve the efficiencies, take on the digital transformation and adopt new technologies in the workplace.
She also highlights the absence of commercial banks on the islands as a major challenge. However, she's looking to address this by focusing on digital wallet platforms. In the meantime, Sands believes that by working closely with all sectors, the Abaco Chamber can play a significant role in driving the growth and development of the local business community.
So we will also be connecting with a digital wallet in the absence of the commercial banks, so to see how we can help with the adoption of the digital wallet, and also the area of filing taxes. And when it's time, the new year, we're just going through the process of renewing your business licenses. Those sort of things we will help work and drive initiatives toward.
Now, the Chamber will be conducting a survey to assess the needs of the business community in the coming weeks. The survey can be accessible by all on the Chamber's website. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Revan Davis.
And still to come.
Grand Bahama Junior Junkanoo Countdown. Hear what ministry officials say you can expect, sports highlights, and more.
Hear that? If you listen closely, you can hear the heartbeat of a nation. That unique sound of a great country pounding with colorful history, a rich culture, and unwavering ambition. When you look around, you recognize its pulse, the people who love to celebrate, who identify with triumph, a people who know how to be our brother's keeper. Commonwealth Bank, built by Bahamians, here for Bahamians, Bahamians helping Bahamians.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Get ready for the Freeport Business Expo Tourism Edition 2, happening May 1st and 2nd. Network, explore, and grow with top industry leaders. Register today at freeportbusinessexpo.com.
Your #1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And welcome back. The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture is gearing up to host this year's Junior Junk Canoe Parade. Norris Bean, the Director of Sports and Officer in charge of the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture in Grand Bahama, says that he is excited to see what each school brings in this year's parade.
I tend to agree. It tends to be better attended. Definitely more people out there. People seem to be enjoying it and really watching the young people perform. But this is important for carrying on the culture. And I'm so happy to finally get a date where we're going to get this settled and the kids will be able to come to Explorers Bay and do what they do good.
Ready to hit Explorers Way are various schools throughout the island. These school representatives say that it is important to share the local Junk Canoe Festival with the school goers so that they can carry on with the legacy and activities.
With something that both kids and adults can relate to. You know, everybody loves candy. We brought some of the candies back, like from the 80s, the Cherry Clans, the Lemon Heads. So we want adults to also reminisce on.
This year, we are going with a blast from the past, celebrating the 70s, 80s, and 90s. So we just wanted to take it back to reminisce on those things that we enjoyed in the past, from the music to the dance moves, to the clothing, to the fashion, to even iconic moments that would have happened during those particular eras.
Yeah, this is our debut, actually. And we decided to come out with the circus. In particular, Summit clowns around at the circus. And we wanted to come out with something fun. Just because it is our debut, and we're not coming out as fun, but we're coming to have fun.
Well, a weekend-long event to promote Grand Bahamian talent in the fashion and beauty industry is underway as Freeport Fashion Week is geared from March 14th to 16th, 2025. Fatima Zara Kaboub, the chairman for the Freeport Fashion Week, says the mission of the committee is to attract tourists to Grand Bahama while displaying the talent of Grand Bahamian creatives, adding that this year is special because it is a celebration for the city of Freeport approaching its 70th anniversary.
This year is going to be even more better because we are celebrating 70th anniversary of the city of Freeport. So it's obviously 70th is platinum, so we're looking big. We're hoping big. I'm inviting everyone in the community to come and see it because it's going to be really, really special.
These show prove that we have so much talent here on the island of Grand Bahama, and we, the Port Authority, are so proud to support these events as these provide a platform for our designers, our licensees, and models to display their platform on a national level while encouraging future licensees.
Tanisha Pyfrom, the founder of Rip the Runway Fashion Show, says that the theme is reimagining the International Bazaar, adding that this night is to take residents down memory lane of the glory days of Freeport.
I chose the theme Reimagining the International Bazaar. This was a world wonder for Freeport, Grand Bahama. Persons traveled from all over the world to come and visit the International Bazaar. So when I heard that we were celebrating the 70th birthday of Grand Bahama, I decided that this would be only right to choose the International Bazaar. So designers will be creating straw dolls, depicting some straw and anything as a part of that was a part of the International Bazaar.
Well, it is that time of year again as the Department of Social Services in Grand Bahama officially kicks off Social Workers Month with a traditional church service at Mount Zion Baptist Church in 8 Mile Rock. Under this year's theme, Compassion Plus Action, the service brought together community members Monday morning to honor the invaluable contributions of social workers and support staff.
It is very important to continue to celebrate social workers because of the role that we play. We value the community
We want families to be successful, to succeed in life, from the youngest child to the oldest. We want to ensure that we provide care for them. We want in the Department of Social Services ensuring the well-being of the family. It ensures the well-being of our country. I'd like to thank the community for allowing us to work with them. Even when things seem hopeless, I want them to know that we are here. The Department of Social Services is always here to provide service for those who are in need, those who are less fortunate. And I also want to say a special thank you to our partners.
The department collaborates closely with other government agencies who also showed their support at the service, emphasizing the event's significance. Throughout the month, additional activities are also planned, including a fun day and a series of workshops.
And we want to promote our social workers, let them know how much we love and care for them and all the work that they are doing here. If anybody should be promoting social workers, should be Grand Bahama, because of all the work these people have done, going on 30 years.
Our part in taking and handing in the ceremony today is to show support in what they do, because all of us are in this together in the country, and we're fighting for one common goal. And the message today by the pastor, Agatha Martin, was one of a timely one, where compassion must have action along with it.
And now it is time for Health is Wealth Tips, sponsored by Doctors Hospital.
March is Kidney Awareness Month, a time when communities around the world raise awareness about kidney disease. If you have high blood pressure, you are at risk for chronic kidney disease, a serious condition that can lead to stroke, heart attack, kidney failure, and death. The good news is that you can help protect your kidneys by managing high blood pressure with these 6 healthy lifestyle habits. 1, take medications as prescribed. Your doctor may prescribe blood pressure lowering medications that are effective in slowing the development of kidney disease. 2, aim for a healthy weight. 3, select healthier food and beverage options. Focus on fruits and vegetables, lean meat, whole grains, and other heart-healthy foods. 4, try to stop smoking. 5, get enough sleep. And 6, manage stress and make physical activity part of your daily routine. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and remember, your greatest wealth is your health.
And that's a look at stories making news. Jay, what's coming up in sports?
Ramiko Crifter, swimming and track and field is just weeks away. Some athletes from Grand Bahama hoping to make the swim team this year.
All right, that's coming away next. But first, a check on the local weather forecast.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
See news in the making? Call us at 352-9713 or 359-5167, or you can email us at zns3news@gmail.com.
Here at Island Bedding, we provide Bahamians a local option for factory direct quality sleep products. We have also expanded to include a range of furniture and home accessories. Check out our new living room pieces, including sectional, TV stands, accent tables, and more. Come on down to Island Bedding and feast your eyes on prices you have to see to believe. Located at number 5 Queens Highway, across from Caribbean Veterinarian.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Renew. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENEW.
Guess what? Budget Pest Control has something important to show you. Called the termites former Salmus, the super termite. What makes them super? Their ferocious appetite can attack your home from below and above. They even attack forestry. But don't worry. Budget Pest Control has extensively studied this species on Grand Bahama. You can even check out our scientific paper. So you can count on us to protect your investment. Call Budget Pest Control, the termite specialist.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports Top in Sports. The Griffith Swimming Championships is scheduled for April 19th to the 23rd in Trinidad and Tobago. Asher Johnson is looking to make a splash once again in the boys 15-16 age group.
I'm focusing on being there for the rest of my teams. My big thing is for the relays, really just being there and making it count. And always doing what needs to be done so we can make those times, make those records. I have top times for 50 and over for 100 and 200 fly. So I plan to do my best in both of those events as well as I can.
Last year's double gold medalist in the girls 13-14 age group, Kamaya Sanders, also hoping to win multiple medals in her events and in the relays.
This year, it's been pretty hard. I just added time in some of my events, which is why I'm trying to push harder now because my competition is getting stiffer and a lot harder to beat, and so I have to train a lot harder to be the best at what I am, which is the breaststroke. So I'm trying to maintain that title right now.
Next in sports, scores from Week 4 of Little League Baseball. The Red Sox got the win versus MSC Shippers, 14-6 in 10U action. Now in 12U plays Silver Line Builders. Lions shut out FES Construction Royals, 13-0. And in the 16U game, the Lions got the W against the Dodgers, 13-4. And finally in sports, Coach Jonah, Ole Miss Lady Rebels took down the 7th-ranked team in the country, LSU, behind a second-half comeback. The Ole Miss Lady Rebels flipped the script in the second half, overcoming a double-digit deficit to shock LSU 85-77 at the Pete Maravich Assembly Center on Sunday afternoon. The Lady Rebels will now take on Mississippi State or Missouri in the SEC tournament on Thursday. And that's your quick check on sports. Your Facebook friend of the day is next. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
What is Business Fit? Business Fit is a group health insurance package offered by BAF Financial. What are some of the benefits of Business Fit? No deductible, dental and vision care, hospital room and board, surgical treatment, labs, medication and drugs, maternity, doctors, clinics, specialist visits, chemotherapy and radiation treatment, air and ground ambulance, and preventative care. Business Fit, offered by BAF Financial.
Here at Freeport Decorators, we have hundreds of products for you to choose from. Whether you're in the market for trophies, plaques, rubber stamps, corporate signs, any kind of interior signage, stamps, or seals, we're your one-stop shop. We feature glass, acrylic, crystal awards for every occasion. We build all the trophies here on site. Looking for a gift item? We feature pens, key rings, mugs, tumblers, barbecue tools, even bamboo cutting boards. Have something already? Bring it on down. Let us see if we can print that special something on it for you. Need a headstone? Memorialize the memory of your loved one with a beautifully lasered granite marker. Our store hours are Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. We focus on customization. So if you have an idea or a new concept, bring it on down or call us at 352-5557 or even WhatsApp your idea to us at 646-0777 and we will do our best to make your awards and recognition ideas a reality.
Your #1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire news team here in the North, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. There's a live look at the Bahamas Tonight coming your way next.
News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, no more scrambling around to find reasonably priced eggs. A lead grocery giant has entered a game-changing partnership. Also, the Defense Force Commodore's reasoning for additional manpower for the country's 40-plus-year-old military. And cutting the fat, we hear from a leading cardiologist on the increasing price of obesity. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. Tonight, we start with the sunnier side of news, all pun intended. A leading supermarket chain boasts that despite having no choice but to blow up the prices of eggs in recent months, and much to the dismay of the public, they've beaten the odds and managed to significantly curtail costs. Daniel Dean tells us more.
It's what consumers have been waiting for months. SuperValue has cracked the code on rising egg prices.
This is all I can hold. I wish I could hold more. I'm a pastry chef, so, I got to use eggs for the most part. But, yeah, I mean, and I eat them too. This is a long time coming. Seems to be not just a national issue, but an international issue with these eggs.
About that, she's right. The bird flu contaminated millions of chickens in the United States, the country SuperValue previously relied on for egg imports. Unfortunately, tens of millions of chickens have either died or have been euthanized there, leading to less egg production. Although hesitant to disclose the name of their new distributors, SuperValue President Deborah Simonet says the retailers had to change course.
We have managed to collaborate with the government of the Bahamas, in particular the Ministry of Agriculture and the Minister, Mr. Jomo Campbell, and we have sourced eggs outside of the U.S. And as a result of this, we're going to be able to offer the public a significant reduction in the price of eggs.
Just a few days ago, a dozen eggs were priced at as much as $12. The cost has significantly dropped, a carton now going for $4.17.
We would have heard the cries of the public, the nation, and receive directives. And hence we're here today just to say that this is just one part of the overall success of the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources. But once everything is in full throttle, we assume that they'll buy or purchase eggs locally first, and wherever the demand increases, I think they will source it from the places in which they are now sourcing them from.
Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Now, meantime, the issue of reducing imports also brought into focus for many as rising import costs hit consumers hard at the register. But as Lloyd Allen tells us, even more relief's on the way.
The Gladstone Road Farmers Market, a hub for all things Bahamian, and for many Bahamians who come out here, it's more than just a place of finding locally sourced eggs. It's all about being connected to your roots.
My name is Carla Campbell, and I've been coming out here since the beginning.
Campbell, like a growing portion of locals, have taken on the agrarian lifestyle. However, challenges with Campbell's farm have forced her to seek alternative sources.
In the food store, I would have spent $20 for 1 dozen eggs, but here I spent $20 for 2 dozen eggs, so that's a deal.
Vendor Justin Taylor from Nature's Way Poultry Farm is one of a number of local farmers helping to reduce overall imports, giving consumers more options while investing at home.
The Golden Yoke Project has begun, which is a major input right now, which could actually curb these costs in terms of imports.
The market also hosting local vendors with fresh supplies of produce as well as homegrown products.
Growing up on Long Bay Key, South Andres, I grew up on sea moss, so I know the benefits of sea moss to help me to build my immune system.
They come here, they look for the native pea soup and dumpling.
The lettuce are also locally grown red leaf lettuce. The beets are from Andres also.
Just grow the cane, and the processor processes it by just crushing it.
Executive Chairman of the Consumer Protection Commission, Senator the Honorable Randy Roll, sees the farm as a game changer, directly impacting imports.
We've had some major meetings this past week, with some of the big store suppliers and food chains. And so now everyone understanding that there are options.
For Campbell and others, more local markets equate to more opportunities for local consumers. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
We can also tell you tonight of a significant development concerning marine mooring policies in the Bahamas. The government has initiated a comprehensive review following the recent cancellation of a controversial mooring project in the Exumas. Devontae Hanna is live with us with the details.
Makushla, we've been following the story for some time now. The Office of the Prime Minister revealing this statement. We can tell you this much. The government has launched a major review of mooring regulations after terminating a 21-year lease granted to Bahamas Moorings Limited. The project, worth $2.5 million, that was aimed to install 253 moorings across 49 locations in the Exuma Keys. However, that project faced significant backlash over transparency concerns and reports that installations had begun without full environmental and port approvals. Well, the deal was further scrutinized when it was reported that an Office of the Prime Minister employee had witnessed the lease agreement on behalf of the company. Well, following an internal review, the lease was mutually terminated, with Bahamas Moorings Limited agreeing to remove any moorings already installed. Now, fast forward a bit, and the government's reviewing mooring operations nationwide, checking for proper approvals, tax compliance, and ensuring economic benefits stay within the Bahamas. This review signals a shift towards stricter oversight and greater Bahamian control over marine resources, which the Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, has already alluded to several times in the House of Assembly. Makushla.
Well, Devontae, on that point there, the Prime Minister, during his mid-year budget communication, noted that they're going to proceed to review the whole thing by consulting and reviewing and asking for the expertise of citizens. Is there a core group of people that the government is hoping to hear from?
Yes, we understand, as you mentioned, that the public is going to lead that conversation and lead that discourse over these moorings projects. But of course, this is something we will have to continue to follow as it develops.
Well, thanks, Devontae. We turn our attention now to this weekend's shootings, which saw one man killed, 4 others wounded. The incidents bringing the issue of crime again to the fore. And as Corval Python reports, the National Security Minister is pushing back against concerns that the government's crime plan isn't working.
On the heels of another weekend rocked by violent acts, including Sunday's multiple shooting incident in the Blue Hill Road South area and the fatal shooting of a man Saturday in Elizabeth Estates, National Security Minister Wayne Munro Monday once again appealed directly to mothers in hopes his message reaches their sons.
Sometimes the best thing a loving mother can do for her son is to let the police know he is doing foolishness and put him in a safe place.
As public concern over this recent spate of crime grows and opposition attacks that the government is not doing enough builds, the National Security Minister is insisting that the administration's crime-fighting strategy is working. Prevention and consistency, the minister says, are what make the difference.
If you don't focus on continuing it, the weeds grow, the weeds grow. So this stopping and starting is no good. So we have some 8-year-olds now, some 10-year-olds now. We have the HYPE program in the primary school because we know that. The police have their cadet programs, a number of other programs engaging with young men. The Defense Force has their programs. We are prioritizing preventing these young men starting on that road.
Asked today whether he felt any particular concern about the brazen nature of these recent shootings, several of which occurred during daylight hours, and most notably last weekend's fatal shooting of 24-year-old Quintero Arnett, gunned down in front of his 4-year-old daughter. The minister said,
and so we continue to see this, and we continue to see this because people have no sense of community, people have no sense of love.
He again emphasized that fighting crime is an all-of-government, all-of-society effort, though he repeatedly singled out the important role mothers play.
Your mother knows how her son looks. You can't tell me you don't know that that's your son. Either you're going to assist the police and let them know who he is, or you may leave it until somebody comes for him like that, and then you'll be crying in the street.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corvell Pyfrom.
Coming up, the need for additional manpower in the RBDF. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
If you listen closely, you can hear the heartbeat of a nation. That unique sound of a great country, pounding with colorful history, a rich culture, and unwavering ambition. When you look around, you recognize its pulse. The people who love to celebrate, who identify with triumph, a people who know how to be our brother's keeper. Commonwealth Bank, built by Bahamians, here for Bahamians, Bahamians helping Bahamians.
This one? No. Hey, look, KFC has an incredible promo.
I already had that for lunch.
Crunch your hunger cravings and satisfy the whole family with KFC bucket meals starting at just $20. Get freshly prepared golden fried chicken, buttery biscuits, and add your favorite large size. Bucket meals starting at just $20. KFC, finger licking good.
With BTC's crystal clear mobile service, stay connected seamlessly, whether on land or at sea. Our reliable postpaid plans keep your loved ones closer, no matter where life takes you.
At BOB, we take pride in our business banking.
I chose Bank of the Bahamas because it was a Bahamian-owned bank. The bank has certainly supported our evolution through overdraft facilities, purchasing of equipment, facilitating of salary payments, and I really believe that Bank of the Bahamas is able to help in the development of the local economy. I would truly recommend the services at Bank of the Bahamas.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home health care supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies. Safety first.
You're looking at a shot there of Collins Avenue. Welcome back. The Independent Commission of Investigations bill and the Protected Disclosures bill introduced in the Senate today recently passed in the House of Assembly. The bills are designed to increase government accountability, support whistleblowers on claims of corruption, and provide proper channels for recourse. Leading things off, Attorney General Senator the Honorable Ryan Pinder spoke to who will be held accountable once the proposed pieces of legislation become law.
The law applies to specified officials, Madam President, which includes parliamentarians, so we're all covered, senior public officers, heads and deputy heads of government corporations, general managers and deputy general managers of government corporations, chief and deputy chief magistrates, family island administrators, and other elected local government officials, directors and board members of government entities, Madam President, and any other class of public officers or public persons appointed by public bodies.
Now, this aggressive compendium of legislation, as he called it, gives a broad span for the Commission to call for witnesses, examine them under oath, and call for evidence. Their findings must be available to the Director of Public Prosecutions. Senator Tyrell Young shared more about the teeth this legislation will have.
The Commission will have authority to audit declarations and request further particulars, strengthening its oversight. Any official found to have deliberately misrepresented their financial status will be subject to investigation and possible prosecution.
Renewable energy sources like solar, wind, geothermal, and biomass have the potential to provide a large amount of clean, sustainable power, solving many problems for small island developing states like the Bahamas. In this report, our Felicity Darville fills us in on a recent high-level hemispheric conference over in Puerto Rico that dealt with just that.
The conference, called the Energy, Security, and Economic Development from the Caribbean to the Pacific, is designed to help solve energy crises in small island developing states throughout the world. The Bahamas delegation was led by Minister for the Environment, the Honorable Vaughn Miller.
By investing in renewable energy resources such as solar, wind, and marine energy, we are creating jobs, stimulating our local economies, and ensuring our energy independence. Our beautiful islands are blessed with abundant natural resources, and it is our responsibility to harness them sustainably.
Technical experts lending expertise and learning much include Chief Energy Officer Gillis Deal, Mr. Keith Philippe, and Mr. Prescott Smith.
After the Dorian hurricane, which had winds that surpassed the Category 5, plus the fact that the Bahamas is number 3 on the world list of countries that will lose most of its landmass, with a 2-degree increase in world temperature, which will be about 80% of our islands will be gone, which are the larger ones. The government, the new administration decided they'll move away from oil exploration and just go into renewables and microgrid systems.
We have a common problem, so we do not have to have the reservation to bring these issues to the global stage at the end of the day, because if we don't do it, not only the Bahamas will suffer, but the whole region will suffer.
Sometimes in the Bahamas, we think there are no solutions to the challenges we have, but there are oftentimes here where research is welcome, research is strong, and research has been going on for decades.
And with the support of government, that research has the potential to turn into projects that will provide cleaner energy and enhance the environment for the Bahamas. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Felicity Darville.
In other news this evening, 1,800 people sounds like a whole lot, but when it comes to the full complement of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, that's far from ideal. And Defense Force Commander Dr. Raymond King has long put pen to paper to determine why.
I would have done several human capital projections as a young officer for the command, and the number that we would have settled on is some 3,000.
3,000.
3,000. Optimal to really fulfill our mission, because as we move into those regions, the north and southern and central deepen, you want to duplicate HMBS Coral Harbor, and you want to run each facility as a base. It requires manpower, logistics, equipment, everything to duplicate.
So you need about 1,200 more.
Yes, and but we've had an ambitious plan. We would have recruited about 450 over the last 4 years. We're aiming to get 150 by May, June of this year. We're working towards those numbers. The attrition rate would have declined.
Still, as Dr. King disclosed while recently appearing as a guest on the ZNS Daily Talk Show, The Rundown, some officers are fast approaching the age of involuntary retirement.
The age was extended from age 55 to 60, but in a few years, you're going to have persons who are going to reach that 60-year mark. Thankfully, the government agreed to a proposal that was put forward under my leadership to extend the age for the reserve component. to move that out from 60 to 65. So as persons retire from the regular service, they can give off service in the reserve component for another 5 years.
Stay with us on The Beat is after the break.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Strike from the Bahamian company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Genetics load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. A thought-provoking quote that pretty much sums up the focus for Health Matters tonight. A leading physician and guest on the ZNS network breaks this concept down. Daniel Dean has the story in tonight's Health Matters.
The heaviest, the fluffiest, or just big boned. However you cut it, the Bahamas has unfortunately become the poster child for overweight and obesity. And not just for Latin America, but as former health minister and leading cardiologist Dr. Dwayne Sands explains, nearly the entire world. And the associated challenges that come along with it should be reason enough to trim the fat. Increasing cases of diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, sleep apnea, and even some cancers.
I think we have fundamentally a nutrition problem. Okay. And, a belly full is not necessarily healthy. And so when you are forced to eat whatever's there, and you can only afford some noodles and some hot dog or things that are carbohydrate laden, or you have a hankering for something sweet, it piles up. And a lot of people think that this is about choice. After a while, your brain gets reset, your pancreas gets reset, your stomach gets reset, your intestine gets reset, and it just keeps going and going and going. And there are very few people who can control their weight.
According to Dr. Sands, who was a guest on the ZNS show What's Trending, the first step is acceptance.
Once you claim it, then we ought to have a national strategy that looks at how do we incorporate healthy lifestyles. That's diet and exercise. And with the busy life that we lead, we have to be very intentional about this.
According to a recent United Nations FAO report, over 45% of Bahamian adults are obese. That's 3 times higher than the global average of 15.8%. With Health Matters for the Bahamas tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Well, LaDawn joins us live with a sneak peek of Access Now. LaDawn, give me what you got.
Because CB Bethel students are learning how to grow their own food. I wonder if Wes was able to do a little bit of farming. What do you think?
Oh, it's a pretty nice story. It ties all in with what we're reporting tonight. That's cool.
Yes.
Stay with us. The National Report is back after the break.
Diet-friendly special.
Honey barbecue, sweet and spicy, all new. Signature hot wings. What's your flavor? Roasted garlic parmesan, tastes so good, chicken, you know. Those pepper wings.
Now available at Popeyes in Nassau.
For over half a century, we've been more than just an airline. We've been a bridge, connecting families, dreams, and memories across the islands and beyond. Behind every seat sold and every journey planned, there's a dedicated team committed to making air travel affordable and accessible to everyone. At Bahamas Air, we're not just building connections, we're building a safe and dependable airline where quality service is paramount and an excellent travel experience is our priority. Wherever you're going, we're here to take you there with care, with heart, and with the promise of unforgettable journeys. We are family, and just like family, we're committed to taking care of our own. Your Bahamas Air is our Bahamas Air, because here at Bahamas Air, we don't just fly here, we live here.
What if I told you Wendy's has a new burger? With a flavor so secret, it's almost too delicious to handle. Well, now it's time to unlock that flavor. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger. We can't tell you everything, but we can tell you that it's packed with flavor, including our secret barbecue sauce. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger today. Available for a limited time.
And that does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
At the latest winter residence reception in Treasure Key, Abaco, Parliamentary Secretary of the Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, John Binder II, gave a warm welcome to the Key's many second homeowners.
First of all, we're in Treasure Key, and this is our 10th winter residence reception. And events like this show how important our second homeowners and our winter residents are. It's this time of year that we get to get back a little bit and mingle with our winter residents to see how they feel about how things are going and what's new in the islands, what they feel could be better, and just enable us to have a closer connection with our winter residents. But we have these throughout the Bahamas, but I'm happy that we're here in Treasure Key tonight. We have such an amazing crowd, great music, and even a fashion show. So what we do, particularly in events like this, we get a chance to speak with our winter residents, our second homeowners, and maybe those that are just passing by, and answer some of their questions and show them that the Bahamas is the place to invest. And what better way to spend your winters or your summers or any time of year than it is right here. And with the increasing of Starlink and broadband through Cable Bahamas and Live and BTC, they could run their businesses right here from the Bahamas and enjoy destroy the sun, sand, and sea. Without the second homeowners in Abaco, we wouldn't be as strong as we are today. This was shown after Dorian when we really came together, and our friends from abroad, our second homeowners, we're our brother's keepers. And together we make a strong community, and we work off of each other and build a better place for Bahamians, for Abaconians, and our friends from abroad to spend most of their year here.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Michael Miller, and this is Tourism Today.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 95th Terrace, Centerville, and now located in the Lucaya Shopping Center of Freeport, Grand Bahama.
Footloose and fancy-free, not exactly, but FootFest 2025 focuses on the foot. Details straight ahead. Students at CV Bethel taking the mandate to grow your own food seriously. West Calix Forbes has a veggie story, so stay close. Plus, Carla Stubbs is making waves in the industry of insurance. Lloyd Allen has a sit-down with her. And coming up in sports, Team Bahamas prepares for the Beach Soccer Cup.
Tonight, Access Now starts now.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now. I'm LaDawn Davis. Thanks so much for tuning in. Remember the date, Monday, March 10th. The secret will be revealed on that day, but keep watching the ZNS network. You will see all the clues you need. But for now, let's dive right into the news, shall we? The Bahamas is stepping forward in the fight against diabetes and foot-related health issues with FootFest 2025, a week-long initiative focused on foot health, diabetes, education, and free medical care. Running from March 2nd to the 7th, the event brings together local healthcare professionals and Brary University students.
Together, we will provide essential podiatric medical services, health education, and preventive care to those who may otherwise go overlooked. Our team will include doctors, students, support staff, and other nurses in the local community committed to delivering quality health care. As I stated, we will set up temporary podiatry clinics at South Beach, Fleming, Exuma, Flamingo Gardens, Good News, and we will conduct diabetic health screenings, and this will be for everyone. Everyone that walks through the door will have a diabetic health screening, and we will offer much-needed medical treatments.
With the Bahamas struggling with high rates of diabetes, foot health has become a growing concern. Poorly managed diabetes can lead to serious complications, including nerve damage, infections, and amputations. FoodFest 2025 aims to raise awareness and provide early intervention to help Bahamians avoid these severe outcomes. Dr. Hutchinson Donaldson shares more.
You lose sensation because of diabetes, because it affects the nerves. You can't feel anything. Like, you know, when you step on your feet you can feel like you step on a rock, but when you have diabetes and it gets to that end stage when it's neuropathy, they can't feel when they step on a rock. So that sheer force, it constantly goes and breaks down the skin, and then people get blisters, and then underneath the blister, the skin underneath it starts eating away. And then if you have a crack, even fissures, like, you know, when people have heel cracks, just the bacteria going into your skin, they won't feel when they have like throbbing, pain, like pus and everything like that. A lot of people don't even know if they have a nail in their foot. So it's mostly the protective sensation because they don't know that they're actually sick. They also mostly when they start having like fever, chills, and nausea, or they notice that they're like blood in their socks.
Residents are encouraged to take advantage of this life-changing opportunity and attend one of the Food Fest locations for a free checkup, education, and support. Students at CV Bethel Senior High School are taking hands-on learning to the next level by growing their own vegetables and selling them to the public in specially curated vegetable bags with prices starting at just $5. West Calix Forbes has more on the reasonable veggies.
This initiative not only promotes healthy eating, but it also encourages backyard farming in the Bahamas as we head towards food security. In a time when food prices are skyrocketing, CV Bethel serves as a reminder that we can grow food right in our backyard. From lettuce, tomatoes, peppers, herbs, kale, papayas, coconuts, and many, many more fresh produce was grown on the school's farm. The students gain knowledge of planting, maintaining, and harvesting techniques and valuable skills that they can use beyond the classrooms.
The students for sure are our MVPs. They make this happen, not us. We are just the mentors or basically the teachers. We're guiding them, but they do the work. Okay, so if more students can get on board, because there's just a fraction of the school that's engaged in agriculture, but if more students can get on board and follow up with the requisite training, BAMSI and all the other institutions that help with nurturing students.
In this green seasoning is pepper, salt, garlic, onions, thyme.
What else?
That's basically it, and spices. Then we have tomato jam. Our tomato jam consists of tomatoes, water, spices, and tomato juices. Then we have our very flavorful hot sauce. In here has lemon juice, spices, salt, and peppers.
CV Bethel is not only raising funds for its agriculture program, but also empowering young people to take charge of food security. The school encouraged the community to support the project by purchasing vegetable bags that are only $5 while learning more about sustainable farming.
Our packaging is one that is uncomparable to the stores, because in that $5 bag you will be amazed to see the quantity of items that you get. We have one of our top hit is the salad mix, and that comes with a combination of the purple and green lettuce, we have the mustard green, we have kale, we have arugula, and that combination there, oh my gosh, it's like voila. I would basically like to see persons engaged in utilizing the native, the locally grown crops, because lots of produce are generated here, and unfortunately it goes to spoilage because we are not getting the support that we need. Lots of persons come, but there's so much more that can come. When one or two persons come there, like, I didn't know that this was going on. But
for those interested in purchasing a vegetable bag or learning more about backyard farming, CV Bethel invites the public to visit the school's agriculture department. This initiative proves that with education, determination, and community support, the Bahamas can move towards greater food security, one vegetable at a time. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Wes Calix Forbes.
Good story there, Wes. Well, a new chapter launched for one local professional whose recent high-level certification is helping to propel both women and an industry. Here's Lloyd Allen.
They say having skin in the game makes the biggest difference professionally. And for 20-year veteran Carla Stubbs, being selected as fellow for the Chartered Insurance Institute, UK, is all about a personal commitment to family and country in making a difference.
In 2005, when I first got into the industry, a few years prior to that, my brother died in a car accident. And I don't believe that we were advised properly.
Stubbs says it was that experience which fueled her passion to enhance her skills and, by extension, the local insurance industry.
I moved into and focused on gaining my qualifications. So there are a few levels. It's the cert, the diploma, the advanced diploma, and the fellowship.
It's the social and economic implications that drove Stubbs to become only one of two Bahamian women to receive the coveted CII fellowship.
We've always been making an impact, but it's a more noticeable impact on the industry, and it helps to encourage other women.
This career highlight also coming with a wave of support from the team at Bahamas First.
Having watched her development over the years and watched how dedicated she is to her craft, learning, and also being very transparent and open, it's refreshing.
I think it's a testimony to who she is, and I think she's a perfect fit for the company simply because education is very important for us.
And as Stubbs embraces the new chapter, her focus remains on creating the change crucial to growth and development in a previously male-dominated environment.
Based on the 2024 study, there were only 4% worldwide of persons who hold the fellowship designation. So having persons in the Bahamas like myself to hold this designation, it shows that the country we are out there being recognized on an international level. We can compete at a worldwide scale.
Stubbs hopes to influence a new wave of leaders who excel simply to better help those they serve. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Thanks a lot, Lloyd. And still to come, the Afri-Caribbean Consulting Group joins us tonight. We're talking about a trip to Ghana, so keep it locked.
A dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. 10th grader Zante Ferguson will tell you that she's proven that statement by the late Colin Powell to be true after she obtained 12 A's in her BJC examinations as a student of H.O. Nash Junior High School in 2023. She tells us what those stellar results mean to her.
Receiving those results meant everything to me. Most importantly, it meant that all those restless nights and the times I didn't get to see my friends, the times I had to put my phone down, that they were not in vain, and that I can accomplish what I put my mind to when I work hard.
Zante now attends Queen's College, where she continues to do exceptionally well. Meantime, she talks a bit about what went into the success of her national examinations.
Lots of preparation and definitely support from my teachers and administrators. They constantly checked in on me, asking if I was doing okay, and also being real with myself. I knew that the challenge was going to be a lot. It was going to be overwhelming at times. I didn't allow myself to think that it was going to be easy. That a lot of that went into it as well. And knowing that I was not alone, that there are many students that were going to sit these exams with me, and I'm no different than them.
And she offers these words of advice to other students.
I would tell them to not let anyone's doubts and their fears be projected onto you. You can do anything you put your mind to, and at the end of the day, it's one pen and one paper, and you're going to be the one holding that. So you need to do what you have to do.
I'm Adama Williams for Ed Talk.
Whopper with cheese never tasted so good. 100% flame grilled beef, now juicier. With fresh ingredients as usual. And even fluffier buns. The Whopper with cheese. Bigger, better, tastier. Get a regular combo for only $9. Only at Burger King Nassau.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting TingsyBahamas.com.
You're looking at a live shot of the Ministry of National Security building. That's a drone shot by our pilot, Destiny Reed. Let's take a trip to mysterious Cat Island. Hillside Primary and High School students joined together recently to showcase their talent through dancing, singing, and playing instruments during the E. Clement Bethel National Arts Festival Cat Island Adjudication. Looks like lots of fun there, so stay tuned as the E. Clement Bethel National Arts Festival makes its way throughout our family of islands. Well, the Afro-Caribbean Multi-Purpose Cooperative is hosting a trade show in Ghana next month. Our guests tonight are Melissa Darville, CEO, Afro-Caribbean Consulting Group, and Sabrina LaFleur, CFO. Ladies, welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. So talk to us a little bit about this first Caribbean Expo and what can we expect?
Well, the Expo is all about bringing businesses together from Africa, the entire region, African Union, and the Caribbean. So right now, the Caribbean has been established as the sixth region from Africa. And so we want to try to capitalize on that and try to build on those relationships that have already been formed, and also to help the Caribbean small businesses to expand their reach into a larger market.
I know Africa is everybody wants to go to Africa, right?
Yes.
So why was Africa chosen for this particular?
Africa, it's our home. Yes. Africa is our home, and it's the wave. It's where everything is moving to right now. Africa is the source of all of the supplies that the rest of the world uses. And right now, Africa is, they're trying to build their industry. Instead of just exporting raw supplies, they want to build their industry. And they have a very large youth population, and so this makes it perfect for us, and we can use the raw supplies and help their industry.
Sabrina, I want to get you in on the conversation. Tell us about who are you expecting and who are you expecting to attract?
We expect to attract businesses, entrepreneurs, even consumers, manufacturers, producers. We are looking for strategic partners who are helping to advance the initiatives in trade. So we're looking to bring in the ministers of tourism. We want to get Ministry of Tourism involved, Ministry of Agriculture, and so when all of these people come together, we are opening doors. I mean, all night we've been hearing reports about how the limited access that we have to the things that we need creates so many challenges for us. And so now we have an opportunity to open those doors. We have trading partners all over who are coming together just looking for the most efficient ways to conduct business. So we are definitely excited about this expo.
And how do you feel about the recent partnership between the government and African leaders? Your take on that?
It is phenomenal. It is incredible timing. I think it is very clear how perfect the timing is. So we are excited to know that there's funding available because we have brought together a cooperative of people, or a cooperative of business owners who are looking to provide resources, provide tools, provide services, and now we have the funding to really launch some big programs. So we have some great initiatives with tourism. We know that the majority of our revenue is brought in through tourism, and it's from generally one primary country. So this opens up a door to bring in many more tourists than just cruises. So we are definitely excited to jump into these initiatives.
Melissa Darville, Sabrina LaFleur, thank you ladies so much for joining us here on the Bahamas Tonight Access Now, and all the best to you in Ghana.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much. Let's see what's coming up in sports.
And the Baja Boys getting ready for the 2025 CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championships. Details of that story and more coming up in sports.
Whether you're crossing borders or navigating busy airports, with BTC's reliable data roaming, you're always in touch. In a fast-paced world, staying connected is key. Don't miss important moments. Stay connected effortlessly with BTC, wherever your journey takes you.
At RBC, we're proud to support Alive's Ultimate Business Makeover campaign for a second year. We know that micro, small, and medium businesses are vital to our economy. They drive innovation, and more importantly, they create jobs. By investing in their growth, we're fostering economic success. And together, we can pave the road to a thriving business community.
We got impact windows and doors. For protection, just come to our store. Plus we got tiles to pretty up your walls and your floors. We love to pattern up for that big bad stone. Porcelain tiles, blank tiles, mosaic tiles, a variety of styles. 14s get right, they gotta be rough. That's why we got the best deals in the whole Bahamas. Hey, hey.
Gymnastics requires discipline, dedication, and a strong sense of balance, just like doing good in our community. In gymnastics, every move counts. Every step, every leap, every turn. Just like in our communities, where every action, every act of kindness, every effort to help makes a difference. I am the creator of Posh Girl Symposium. Posh is a symposium for 5th and 6th graders at Queens College where they are encouraged to be more passionate, optimistic, strong, and healthy, and stamp out hunger. We collect unused quality stamps to feed the hungry. Some people don't have the basic necessity of food, so I wanted to be able to help. Be the balance, the strength, and the grace your community needs. Together, we can achieve greatness. Crime-free looks like me.
Do your part. Join the movement to a safer Bahamas.
It's time now for your Access weather forecast. High pressure beginning to build across the Bahamas, and that means we will experience an increase in winds over the next few days. But there is a frontal system on the way that will bring a cool down. That will happen on Thursday. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Live Business, where we simply bulk up your business. In the Northwestern Islands tonight through Tuesday, easterly winds can be expected. Those winds increasing 15 to 20 knots tonight. Wave heights building 4 to 6 feet, so caution flags will go in place later on tonight as that high pressure continues to build. Now, high tide, that will take place at 10:39 tonight with another high tide at 10:56 tomorrow morning. In the central and southeastern islands, winds also out of the east, but very strong at 15 to 25 knots. Rough sea conditions, 5 to 8 feet over the ocean, so small craft advisory is in place for boaters in the central and southeastern islands through Tuesday. Now, on Wednesday in the northwestern islands, the winds rotate, becoming southeast, increasing in speeds 15 to 25 knots. Rough seas developing in the northwestern islands, so that advisory will be extended to the northwest Bahamas on Wednesday. High tide, 11:52 in the morning, with the low tide at 6:05 in the afternoon. And for the central and southeastern islands on Wednesday, winds out of the southeast, a slight reduction, 15 to 20 knots, so the caution flags will be in place with the wave heights at 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they're brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Going down Harlow Road, going down Robinson Road, going down Carmichael Road, I can't lick nobody, don't lick nobody, don't lick nobody, don't lick nobody, don't lick nobody. Both bronze dressed up in soldier clothes, went to the river to shoot some crows, crows smell fire.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But join me at 11 o'clock for a full weather update. LaDon.
Thanks a lot, Basil. I'm just loving these cool daytime temperatures. Let's turn things over now to Matea Cunningham, and let's talk socials.
Good Monday evening, Access Now audience. Welcome to Let's Talk Socials. To gain access to this class, you'll need your learning materials, your phone, your attention, the willingness to learn the world of social media. Now that we've got those tools secured, let's jump into today's topic. Mommy Pig is pregnant. Pump the brakes, it's only Monday, I know. Most of you are familiar with those little British animated pigs who love to jump up and down in muddy puddles. Yes, we're talking about the iconic children's cartoon, Peppa Pig. Now, Peppa Pig features the main protagonist, Peppa Pig, a little girl, her little brother George, and their parents, Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig. Well, social media just got the shock of the millennium when the producers of the show announced something pretty big.
So, I'm very excited to tell you all that
Mummy, they're showing you on TV. Come and see.
Hello, Peppa. Good morning.
Are you on TV right now?
Yes, darling, I am.
Am I?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Bye, Peppa. Oh, she's so cute.
Cute and a handful. So what were we talking about? Oh, yes, the news. Oh, well, I'm excited to share that our family is getting even bigger because we're having another baby.
I may be a little biased, but I'm loving this. This show initially began in 2004, so it's correct to assume it's been streaming for quite some time. With shows that go on this long, they eventually lose their momentum with the target audience and slowly but surely fizzle out. The producers of Peppa Pig said not us, though, introducing a hilarious twist to the television series. I say well done. What are your thoughts? Did you or your children grow up watching the iconic Peppa? While you contemplate that, I'm Matea, and this has been Let's Talk Socials.
Great job, Matea. Stay close. We've got more right after this.
At Costrite, our members know that there's a lot to smile about. They know that membership has its privileges. Guaranteed low pricing on every item, every time you shop. Each membership comes with 2 cards. That's one for you and a free card for a member of your household. Gold card holders earn an annual 2% rebate up to $500. Costrite members get discounts at other participating businesses. So that's a lot to smile about. Whether it be clothing, appliances, home goods, or groceries, shop at Costrite, where membership truly has its privileges.
The difference. Ruby's Ultra Tech in your car. Fill up with Ruby's Ultra Tech. Spend less and go far. Fuel up with Ruby's Ultra Tech. Get the most out every ride. Just watch your car perform with the best fuel inside. Fuel up with confidence in every mile. Get Ruby's Ultra Tech in your tank and drive with a smile. Watch your car perform with the best fuel inside. Fuel the difference with Ruby's Ultra Tech.
Welcome to your Monday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports. We're roughly a week away from the 2025 CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championships, set to be held at the National Beach Soccer Stadium. 8 teams, including our very own, hoping to advance to the next round. Bahamas' men's national beach soccer team holding their media day over the weekend to provide an opportunity to hear from the newly selected squad before the tournament kicks off.
We got a few teams who we always want to have a great match and showing against. I'd say the USA, they're of course the big team to beat. El Salvador is another very tough team. Mexico, that's a team from last year that actually kicked us out 2 years ago. So we got something for them too, But anyone can get it, to be honest. But that's 3 that we're thinking of.
The training's been intense. The fitness is high. I think the whole squad is kind of healthy right now. So I think we're well prepared for the tournament coming up.
And what's your expectation heading in?
To win the entire thing, to go to the World Cup, a goal that we've been trying to achieve since we started 2009. And I think more than ever, this is the best chance we've ever had, most prepared we've ever been. So that's the goal.
Communications coordinator for the event, Gerald Munnings, adding that the Baja boys will definitely need that home field advantage.
It's 5-on-5 in beach soccer, so the crowd definitely will help. This is a crucial match for Team Bahamas. In the last World Cup qualifying championships, we were 58 seconds away from going to the World Cup. So It's definitely important. We want everyone to come out, bring their cowbells, bring their drums, no whistles. We don't want to confuse our players, right? No whistles, and come out here and support. We need every single person to be in the stands in aquamarine, gold, and black.
And that's been Look at Your Sports on this Monday. A check on weather when we return.
Well, that does it for Access Now. Stay tuned, though, for the rundown with Clint Watson. Good night, everybody.
Marlena, where you going?
I'm moving. Keep watching.
Did you know that if a fire starts in your home, you may have as little as 2 minutes to escape? Keep your family and home safe with these few fire safety preparation and prevention tips. Ensure that your home has working smoke detectors. They will alert you if there is smoke and fire in your home. Install a smoke detector on every level of your home, inside each bedroom and outside each sleeping area. Test smoke detectors every month and change the batteries every 6 months. Home fires can spread rapidly and every second counts. Create an escape plan and practice it with everyone in your home. Make sure everyone can safely escape in less than 2 minutes. Keep escape routes as clutter-free as possible so no one trips or falls on the way out to an emergency. In addition to smoke detectors, fire extinguishers is an important device to have on hand. To use a fire extinguisher, remember the acronym PASS. Pull the pin, aim the nozzle, squeeze the handle, and sweep from side to side at the base of the fire. We must all do our parts to ensure that our families and homes are safe in the event a fire occurs. On behalf of the Commissioner of Police, the Director of Fire Services, and all officers of the Fire Department, let's work together to help prevent fires, because fire safety is everyone's responsibility, and the life you save may be your own.
Influenza, or the flu as it is commonly called, is a viral illness that usually occurs between the months October to March. The virus is transmitted from person to person through coughing, sneezing, or talking. Symptoms include fever, cough, headache, runny nose, generalized body aches, and fatigue. There is no specific treatment for the flu, and the symptoms usually dissipate after 3 to 7 days. Because it is caused by a virus, antibiotics are not used to treat the flu. Persons are encouraged to rest and drink lots of fluids. Panadol is recommended for fever and body aches associated with the flu. However, aspirin should be avoided due to the risk of bleeding. To decrease the spread of flu, persons are encouraged to get their flu shot annually and practice good cough hygiene. Additional information can be provided by your community clinic or the Health Education Division at the Ministry of Health. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
It's a joy, to help someone who is in need,
I'm proud to know that we are able to accommodate them with a hot meal, fresh meal, and a well-balanced meal.
A lot of our clients, as you know, from the inner city and persons who really include them so much at the loss they go. And for whatever reason, 2 months, 3 months, they really don't have anything. You have to have some kind of kindness to do this.
At the Dixon Hill Lighthouse in San Salvador to let you know that marine protected areas make dollars and cents. A well-designed and managed network of protected areas can generate income for nearby communities. From MPA managers to lodges to eco-tours, there is money to be made.
Healthy marine ecosystems help to protect our islands from climate change and other impacts that we cannot control. Healthy coral reefs help to break down fake waves, and mangroves absorb storm surge and help to protect our coastline.
All
older and larger fish tend to carry more and healthier eggs than younger fish. Fish replenishment areas will allow fish to grow bigger and ensure that we have more fish now and in the future.
In a replenishment area, fish are free to grow and reproduce. As their populations increase, more fish will spill over into other areas where fishermen can increase their catch and their income.
I support the establishment of a marine protected area on my island.
I support the establishment of marine protected areas on my island.
I support the establishment of marine protected areas on my island.
I support the establishment of a marine protected area on my island, and you should too.
And you should too.
And you should too.
And you should too.
See the future with Bahamas Protected. At Harold One, I'm Ted Jervis, and this is ZNS.
The Rundown is brought to you by Commonwealth Brewery Limited.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show. It's great to have you with us for another week. What a leading supermarket chain boasts that despite having no choice but to blow up the prices of eggs in recent months, and much to the dismay of the public, they've beaten the odds and managed to, get this, significantly curtail costs. For more on this story, here's Danielle Dean.
It's what consumers have been waiting for months. SuperValu has cracked the code on rising egg prices.
This is all I can hold. I wish I could hold more. I'm a pastry chef, so, you know, I got to use eggs for the most part. But, yeah, I mean, and I eat them too. This is a long time coming. Seems to be not just a national issue, but an international issue with these eggs.
About that, she's right. The bird flu contaminated millions of chickens in the United States, the country SuperValu previously relied on for egg imports. Unfortunately, tens of millions of chickens have either died or have been euthanized there, leading to less egg production. Although hesitant to disclose the name of their new distributors, SuperValu President Deborah Simonet says the retailers had to change course.
We have managed to collaborate with the government of the Bahamas, in particular the Ministry of Agriculture and the Minister, Mr. Jomo Campbell, and we have sourced eggs outside of the U.S. And as a result of this, we're going to be able to offer the public a significant reduction in the price of eggs.
Just a few days ago, a dozen eggs were priced at as much as $12. The cost has significantly dropped, a carton now going for $4.17.
We would have heard the cries of the public, the nation, and receive directives. And hence we're here today just to say that this is just one part of the overall success of the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources. But once everything is in full throttle, we assume that they'll buy or purchase eggs locally first, and wherever the demand increases, I think they will source it from the places in which they are now sourcing them from.
Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Did y'all get that? So eggs, which were $11 and $12 and $13, is now reduced to $3. That's interesting. And in the middle of an egg crisis, we have eggs at $3 something. That's magnificent, actually. And I'm understanding it's going to drop even more when that new VAT kicks in, where you take the VAT off of it. It's going to be even cheaper. So, hooray! Consumers benefit. You can now afford your eggs. And you can get eggs for less than half of the cost. That is absolutely amazing. Now, inquiring minds, I'm not going to be the advocate because I just want to know where these eggs came from. And because, you know, I've never seen those kinds of cartons before in the food store. I'm used to the blue cartons. Is that the Hollandale eggs or something? I'm used to that. I don't see that. So this must be obviously a new I'm not laughing. New dealer. So let's hear the reviews from those who bought those arms filled with eggs. Please tell us how they taste and how they look, and then we'll all go in. I see y'all in the Lion's Den. I see y'all. People in the Lion's Den talking about, I'm not eating these eggs. Somebody say Chinese eggs. Someone say, where these eggs coming from? The Lion's Den is alive in there tonight. People are a little skeptical about the eggs. But let's say, you know, I believe in good news, so let's all hope for the best. And go get your eggs. All right. Good, massive move. If the government has obviously partnered, that you heard from SuperValue, to be able to reduce the cost of these eggs. And so it's a big win all around. So go get your eggs and let us know how they taste. Okay? All right. Meet. Next person, you're not putting all the eggs in one basket. Next person, eggs ain't really the big issue. Don't you think we are misled by a decrease in eggs? It should have been a long time ago. Well, that's a good point too. If you can just make the price go down right away, then there are some things that could happen. But it's interesting when people force you to do some things, you have no choice. So let's be optimistic and let's hope for the best. Eggs are here, eggs are good, eggs are cheap. Go buy them before they change. All right, on to another story tonight. Meantime, the issue of reducing imports also brought into focus for many as rising import costs hit consumers hard at the register. But as Lloyd Allen tells us tonight, even more relief is on the way.
The Gladstone Road Farmers Market, a hub for all things Bahamian, and for many Bahamians who come out here, it's more than just a place of finding locally sourced eggs. It's all about being connected to your roots.
My name is Carla Campbell, and I've been coming out here since the beginning.
Campbell, like a growing portion of locals, have taken on the agrarian lifestyle. However, challenges with Campbell's farm have forced her to seek alternative sources.
In the food store, I would have spent $20 for 1 dozen eggs, but here I spent $20 for 2 dozen eggs, so that's a deal.
Vendor Justin Taylor from Nature's Way Poultry Farm is one of a number of local farmers helping to reduce overall imports, giving consumers more options while investing at home.
The Golden Yoke Project has begun, which is a major input right now, which can actually curb these costs in terms of imports.
The market also hosting local vendors with fresh supplies of produce as well as homegrown products.
Growing up on Long Bay Key, South Andrews, I grew up on sea moss, so I know the benefits of sea moss to help me to build my immune system.
They come here, they look for the native pea soup and dumpling.
The lettuce are also locally grown red leaf lettuce. The beets are from Andrews also.
Yes, grow the cane, and the processor processes it by just crushing it.
Executive Chairman of the Consumer Protection Commission, Senator the Honorable Randy Roll, sees the farm as a game changer, directly impacting imports.
We've had some major meetings this past week, with some of the big store suppliers and food chains, and so now everyone understanding that there are options.
For Campbell and others, more local markets equate to more opportunities for local consumers. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
All right, I'm enjoying this, what's going on right now online. It's lit. It's lit in the Lion's Den. It's really lit there. But what you heard in that story just now with Lloyd Allen, there are opportunities, right, to reduce costs. There are opportunities for people to be able to cut costs by buying local produce. And this is a time when you get smart in shopping. Instead of just picking up the same thing that you always pick up in the same stores, shop around, see what you can get locally produced and cut costs, particularly fruits and vegetables, and that'll save you a penny in the food stores where fruit and vegetables is so expensive. You have to find ways to cut costs and save, and then you'll be able to do things a whole lot different. So let's now move on to the story, because I see a lot of people in the room. They fall into the room, so they're trying to egg me on tonight, but it's not happening. I know why you're here. You're here to listen to your leader. So listen to your leader and stop trying to egg me on. I'm not going to feed into your hand tonight. All right, the Coalition of Independence releasing its party's vision and platform at a packed event at Fusion Superplex Saturday night. The organization's candidates who will contest seats in the upcoming general election were also introduced. Party leader is indeed Lincoln Bain.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to make sure that you understand what you are hearing tonight. While you are hearing highlights from these able candidates. These are just the highlights of these visions. I want you to understand that these visions are so well put together. If you go on our website tonight when you finish, and you look at these visions, you are going to see that each one of these are booklets. Our vision for education you're about to hear, that's 80 pages alone. Our vision for education. We have put together the who, what, when, where, and how.
Ahead of the next general elections, party candidates from a wide cross-section of the Bahamian society outlined the Coalition of Independence 2030 vision, a national development plan for the economy, tourism, transport, health, education, and national security.
The COI is committed to creating a financially empowered Bahamas, where banks service the interests of the people. Economic opportunities are abundant, and financial independence is achievable for every Bahamian by 2030.
What we're going to do is we're going to create an annual week-long celebration from December 25th to January 1st.
Every Bahamian will be eligible to receive free health care with no exceptions. But free comes with responsibility. Bahamians will be asked to enroll in the Life Assurance Program, we're going to call it LAP, instead of paying premiums. Get this, we will pay by staying healthy.
There will be a universal access to Crown land. 1 acre of land will be allocated to every Bahamian.
Party leader Lincoln Bain believes his political organization offers a unique and transformative blueprint to revolutionize the Bahamas.
These are organic Bahamians, all of us, and we've decided to come and fight for this country. And so we are fighting now today with the word. And we're delivering to you the word. And this is the plan for a new Bahamas.
I'm Desmond Saunders, the Bahamas Tonight.
All right, thanks a lot, Desmond. And tonight, that is my guest, Lincoln Bain. We're going to do a post-ops on that launch and talk about some of the plans and how he plans on implementing that if he's given the opportunity. Talk about how the launch went. He's going to be up after the break. But as we go to the break, a special good night in the Lion's Den to Cindy Patrice Daxon. Of course, she's doing a major giveaway tomorrow. She's, instead of just talking, she's working in Grand Bahama, and she's doing a big giveaway tomorrow to the Grand Bahama Children's Home. Congratulations, Cindy, on your initiative taking place this week. You're watching The Rundown. When we come back, the leader of the Coalition of Independence, Lincoln Bain.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exuma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass it along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
The Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting is partnering with the Bahamas Christian Council to help build stronger Bahamian families.
I believe that our ultimate experience in living begins with God and family.
Our purpose is to facilitate, guide, inspire, and equip you to have a better life.
And a strong family foundation begins with each of us trying to become better individuals.
Let's unite for a stronger Bahamas.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting, the heartbeat of the nation, leading Bahamians from dependency to self-sufficiency to economic empowerment.
Welcome back to the Rundown. A special good night to all of you watching either in our various platforms. You're either watching. I've just watched reading in the comments, which just lit. You're either in the Lions Den watching on Facebook, or you're watching on YouTube, or you're watching your various platforms in the Turks and Caicos Islands, here in the capital, or around the Family Islands, or internationally. Thank you for watching the show and tuning in. It's going to be a very exciting evening if they could settle down in the Lions Den. They already started the discussion there. And so let's get started to what we're going to discuss tonight. The Coalition of Independence has made bold claims about being the solution to the nation's political scene, but independent movements in Bahamian politics have historically struggled to gain real traction. Tonight, we're sitting with the party's leader, Lincoln Bain, or the movement's, I should call it, leader Lincoln Bain. Welcome to the Rundown, sir. It's good to have you.
It's always good to be, yes.
And congratulations on your successful launch over the weekend.
Thank you.
A lot of people perhaps may have underestimated you. They might have thought, oh, they ain't got the kind of support, but the support definitely came out, and people were definitely attentive, and you did what a lot of people don't do, and that is you actually stuck to the purpose of the event. Yeah. To not just have rally, but to discuss what it is you're actually looking at introducing. Yeah. And that was something that was remarkable on Saturday night. So I want to start right there, and let's talk about a couple of things. I know we've talked before, but I want to hit some hard issues with you this time, because I think we're now getting into the season, and so we need to be able to discuss things and be able to put those to you. Your party has gained traction, and what is, I want to use the right term. Is it party? Is it movement? What is it?
It's a party.
It's a party, okay. So to be established as that.
We became a party after the general election. We did extremely well. We only had 3 weeks' notice because the election was a snap election. We had 3 weeks to galvanize support, to put candidates together, go door to door, and we think we did well. So we decided afterwards to actually form a party. Before we were independent candidates.
Right, I remember you saying that.
And afterwards, we decided to form a party. It didn't make sense to change the name because people were already familiar with the name. So for PR purposes, we're still a coalition of independents. But independents mean independent thinkers, because there will be no whip in our government.
Interesting. Okay, so your party has gained traction. Well, as we know, independent movements have historically struggled in Bahamian politics. What do you think will make COI different?
Well, the difference is that this is the first time that election came and went, and the party kept moving, kept fighting for the people, kept being different. We've never seen that before. Every party that loses goes away for about 3 years until people start getting angry with the government and they forget what the previous party had done. And even the third parties go away for a few years and then they show back up when it's election time. We've been fighting for the Bahamian people the whole time, and they see that that is different. We've also been educating the Bahamian people, and they see that before the election, for example, the government and opposition was saying that we're selling dreams. Carbon credits isn't real. Don't listen to Lincoln Bain. Now they're seeing that that's all the government is talking about. So they're like, wow, Lincoln was right. And they, the other parties lied to us about natural resources. They said, we don't have natural resources. Now we're seeing that they're talking about the natural resources. We even got a ministry for it, even though they're not doing anything with it. So it gives us credibility. And so the credibility with us is that we're educating you, and that's what's different. And we're out there fighting for the Bahamian people. Sometimes we're educating them, sometimes we're out there fighting for them. And that's the big difference. And the other difference is, you know what you've been getting with the PLP and F&M. Failure. Right? They have failed. I'm not saying they did nothing, but they haven't done enough. And so what you're going to get is you need another party that's going to bring some difference and have some real ideas.
Do you believe the Bahamas is ready for the independent-led government, or are you primarily aiming to be a strong third force in Parliament?
Right. It won't be an independent-led government. It's going to be a party. And so I think the Bahamian is ready for another party. They're starting to realize that the PLP and F&M are one. And so we want something different. We've tried that over and over. And I think people, you see from the last election with the voter turnout that people started to get disenfranchised. And I think you realize that people want to try something else. You know what's going to happen if you go with either the PLP or F&M, more failure. I mean, you talked about a story today about eggs. I mean, how is it that we're bragging about a store buying eggs from another country. We should be growing our eggs. You mean almost 4 years later, you couldn't grow eggs? Eggs is the easiest thing in the world to grow, to get, not grow, but to get. You just buy the chickens and you feed them, but make sure calcium is in there, and they lay eggs. And so why is it that you don't invest in our farmers so that they can grow to scale? Invest in it, subsidize it, like other countries subsidize agriculture, including America. Subsidize them so they can grow to scale and they can have the benefits. You make sure you supply them with feed, and we'll have eggs for probably $1. And so why 4 years later have they not done that? And that is sickening. And now you're bringing in eggs, and if you do a quick Google search, you will see that there were stories where Dominican Republic had problems with their eggs. And we need to make sure that we are bringing in proper eggs into this country. There was issues about bird flu and other things that happened with their eggs. And so why all of a sudden you're dumping these eggs on us? And the reason you would question that is because we don't have proper checks and balances. Someone in Turks and Caicos was not long ago arrested because they brought in eggs from Dominican Republic. And the eggs, there was a risk with these eggs. And so why are we just taking them and saying, y'all, the eggs are now $3, just eat them and don't ask any questions? All right, and so
But do you think the government should be credited for there being some movement? Because I think if there had not been movement, we would have said, okay, but what are you doing about this problem? The government jumped in quickly and brought some relief. Shouldn't they be credited for having done something?
If you're supposed to cook dinner for your children and you go to the food store and that's it, I don't credit you for that. We should be growing our own eggs. I will credit you for that. Eggs are something simple. You don't need rocket science. You don't need special training and years of college. That is simple. I think that is a massive failure to have to buy eggs from the Dominican Republic when we have 700 farmers in this country who can grow eggs. And I've spoken to farmers in Abaco, et cetera, who said this golden yolk thing, they've really have no forward movement with it. And it shouldn't take you. You can buy chickens and you can have eggs this week, Clint, this week. How is it 4 years later we still don't have eggs? That's a fail.
So you believe the government has failed with this initiative?
Yes, I think they have failed. And I think that when we get to power, we are going to make sure that things like eggs, fruits, vegetables, we are going to make sure that our people get healthy things.
Now, all administrations have begun the process of trying to ensure we feed ourselves. Why do you believe if you come to power, you can just all of a sudden, at the snap of a hand, reverse what has taken administrations time to try and establish?
You don't begin a process for 52 years. That's a couple of generations. And so if you're beginning a process, 52 years later, you failed. It's simple as that. And so they're not doing it because they don't want to do it. There are persons who benefit from importing food, and so they seem to be working along with the government to make sure that the farming industry in this country has been destroyed. We've seen it. Laws went into place under the Ingham administration to suppress farmers and farming, to make sure that the packing house only accepts $9,000 worth of food per year. That's ridiculous.
You believe those policies by the Ingham administration would have hampered and hindered farming?
They kill the farming in this country. And so that's why we're getting these for export only food that is killing Bahamians and being very expensive and hurting all of us.
Bear in mind now, you do have a leader of the opposition, Michael Pintard, who was Minister of Agriculture and Marine Resources, who is touting that he has the answer, and he would have had the opportunity to be agriculture minister. Don't you think he has the ability to be able to speak to the issue as well?
If he had the answer, we would have seen it when he was Minister of Agriculture. He was the worst Minister of Agriculture we have had. There was no forward movement in agriculture. He did nothing in agriculture that I can think about, or the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. But in agriculture, nothing happened. Nothing happened with BAMSI. Nothing happened in agriculture on the whole.
He's pushing the message of food security. Do you think he doesn't have the plan to change it?
You know what a man is going to do by what he has been doing and of what he has did. And so Michael Pintard did nothing towards food security when he was the Minister of Agriculture. If he can prove where he did something, if we could have felt it, then we can say, okay, let's give Michael Pintard a try, let's believe him. But come on, man, we're tired of getting swung by politicians. It's only talks that he's in opposition now, and then when he gets in, he's going to do nothing.
I want to talk about what you're doing as a party. Are you finding it difficult to gain mainstream support, especially when it comes to financing? We know our business in this country, they've been traditionally supporting the traditional parties. How have you found that?
I think if you've watched us, you can see that we're not struggling. We're operating like no third party has ever operated in this country. We're not a B group. We're definitely an A group. We've had rallies. I mean, months after election, we had a rally that was extremely well attended. I don't know why people are surprised by this. It was extremely on our Waki. It was very well attended. There was thousands of people there. We've had conventions. We've been traveling to all of the family islands, and so we've been operating on a major level. And so now we have a launch of a vision. And why this is important, Clint, is because you cannot build a house without a plan. How are you going to build a nation without a plan? And you're telling me that 50 years, not one party has produced a plan for this nation? Not one? Like no one thought of
they will tell you otherwise. The governing party will tell you they produced the plan, which gave the blueprint, called Blueprint of Change. The opposition will say they have had their manifestos. Just like you have produced your plan, the other parties will say they produced their plan. What is the difference?
Those are not plans. What they produced were 5-year manifestos, what we're going to do for the next 5 years. One, they did not come from the people, and they were not to benefit the people. All right? And so the difference in what we're doing is we presented a plan that's going to benefit all of us, not just financial backers, not just political cronies. This is a plan that's going to benefit all Bahamians. And those plans they've been presenting is the reason this country is not moved forward where it should be moving. We're still talking about potholes, Clint, and electricity and water on family islands.
Perhaps because those people in those areas, those are real issues they want to see addressed.
Of course, but what I'm saying is, they are issues that we shouldn't even be thinking about in this nation. Water is an automatic. If you get trapped on a desert island, stuck, the first thing you're going to look for is water. I mean, water should not be a conversation. I don't hear other people in other countries campaigning about water, or they provided water to a settlement. Like, what are you talking about? That's water. Electricity. You don't hear people campaigning on, we provided electricity to Miami. Or that's not something that you do. And so that's a fail. We're thinking too small, and it's because we don't really have a plan for where to go. How could you have one hospital built by government in 70 years? How could that be? The UBP built the only hospital that government built in this country. How could that be? It's because we don't have a plan. And that's when you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. And so these things...
But wasn't it this present administration that said that's why we need to build another hospital, but got pushback from the opposition for trying to build another hospital?
No, they were not building a hospital. They were building a glorified clinic, Clint. We have to be real.
What do you call that? The blueprints and the plans say hospital, and based on what they're putting in there, it's a hospital.
That's a word. As a hospital, when you have a hospice, which means that you can sleep there. And so that's a maternity clinic. And so because the children can sleep in, and the mother can sleep in there after they had a baby, that classifies technically as a hospital.
But isn't that still not advancement in the right direction?
No, it's
expanding?
not.
You don't.
It's not.
So you prefer there to be no hospital than to build something that you call a glorified clinic?
That's the fallacy you just gave. No, what I prefer is a hospital. We need, 70 years later, we need a hospital. And if
So you think that should be, instead of building that, build another alternative to PMH?
We need, PMH is dysfunctional. All right? And we need another hospital in the southern corridor of this island, the southwest, where the majority of the people in the Bahamas live. And so we need a hospital in the southwest corridor. We already drafted plans. We are ready to go on this. We need a real hospital for the people, and it can be done. It seems like we're not getting that because there are people who benefit from us having to come for private services. And so it seems like money is forcing them to make us not get services from a public hospital because we have to come to them to get service. That's what I think the problem is, and we're going to change that. We're not connected to all of the people who benefit from our suffering. These governments, They're working together, they're partnering with each other, and they are causing the suffering that the Bahamian people are suffering from in this country. Electricity is high because of focal. There's interest on both sides in there. All of the problems we have, just look at who is making the money from it, and you can solve that problem. Well, we put together a team of people who are not connected to the system, and that's what we're looking for. Qualified people who are not connected, who can make the tough decisions. They can come out in like Trump and Trump's team and say, listen, this has to be done. We're doing that. That's what needs to happen. To bring relief to the people, we need strong, not connected leadership.
All right, we're going to go to a break. When we come back, I want to ask you, if people were to go to your site and read the plan that you have, what will they find that's different from what the other political parties have presented in the past or even presenting again?
Love it.
All right?
All right.
You're watching The Rundown with Lincoln Bain. We're back right after this. Stay close.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
Marlena, where you going?
I'm moving. Keep watching.
There's a spark of greatness in each of us. That spark is called personality. Individual gifts and talents provide the fuel to set that spark ablaze. Each child has the right to an education which values their personality and nurtures their talents, while teaching them to be respectful to their parents and their cultures.
Welcome back to The Rundown. My guest tonight is the leader of the Coalition of Independence Party, Lincoln Bain. And we're talking doing a post-analysis of the launch at Fusion Superplex on Saturday. It aired live on the ZNS network, the only network to carry it live.
Yes.
We appreciate that, and streaming live as well. And that's exactly who we are. We're the People's Station, and we want to make sure that people hear from all sides, all views, so that they can make a collective decision on who they believe should indeed lead and govern them. Before the break, I talked about the fact that you were talking about your uniqueness of your plan that you have. And my question to you was, what if people go and look at your plan, what in that plan would they see that's different from what the PLP has said and what the FNM has said or any other political party is offering or said? What will they see that's different and that will say, oh, the Coalition of Independence should be leading us?
The first thing you're going to see that is different is that we present a plan, which is our ideas for the country, but underneath that plan, which is a very well put together booklet, you will, I shouldn't say booklet, they're books because they're the big, massive plans. Underneath it, you can contribute to the plans. And so you've never been able to contribute to a PLP or FNM plan. No one has ever been able to do that. These plans just come from some dark room somewhere, and they just tell you this is what we're doing, and you vote for that because you just love the party. Forget about country, vote for party. And so what we did was we put together massive plans talking to experts in every field. We spoke to experts in aviation. We spoke to teachers, every industry, defense force officers, police officers, nurses, before we drafted this. And now you, the general public, can contribute it. That's the first thing that is different. What's the next thing that is different is this isn't just what you would see in the blueprint for change or what the FNM would put together, which is just bullet points. They put together bullet points. They say, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, et cetera, et cetera. For the most part, what we put together is a well thought out white paper. And you can look and see that we have studied best practices. You can see what happened in other countries in some instances so that you can see what we should do and how we're going to do it. It tells you the who, what, where, when, where, and how of what what we're doing. It tells you, in some instances, where the money is coming from. This plan, you're also going to see business plans released for everything that we say in there. So if we say we're building a hospital, this is the business plan for it. This is where everything is coming from. It's right there. And if you look at some of the plans, you're going to see in year one, we do this, this, that, and that. So for example, if you look at our transportation plan, which is probably, I don't have it in my head, but probably about 40, 50 pages, you're going to see in year one, we're going to do this. In year two, we're going to do this. In year three, and in year five, everything is done. And you can see how it makes sense based on the things that we said we're going to do, how we're going to implement it. So the how is there. And so this is what differentiates what we're presenting, because this is a real plan to take this nation forward. We need the young people to take over. And I heard Pintar talking about the old and the new. But it's not in your age, it's in your mindset. You know, and yes, you know, Brave is in his 70s, Pintar is in his 60s. You know, I'm in my 40s, and I have a vision. I have enough experience and enough youth to be able to get this done. And change normally comes from persons in their 30s and 40s. And so that's what we need now. We need a new group of people who grew up in this era to bring the changes that this era needs. So what makes it different? You're going to see, if you look at them, 80-page plan for education that talks about how we're going to make education different and exactly what is going to happen.
So we've seen a lot of people with plans. I'll tell you, for the decades that I've been a journalist, and I hear people who are not in government have these wonderful, lofty plans, and then they get in government, and then they recognize the bureaucracy of the public service hinders the ability to do a lot of what they planned out. Because the reality is, and I haven't been serving in government, you realize there's a difference. On the outside, you're saying, oh, this is a wonderful dream we're going to do. Why aren't they doing this? We're going to do this. Why aren't they doing that? Why would they do this? And then you get in government, and you recognize it's an entirely different creature, and you recognize what has hindered many administrations from being able to fulfill is because of the slow operation and the bureaucracy and the policies of the public service, which literally slows every plan down and takes it through unnecessary bureaucracies. How do you intend to handle, if you're given the opportunity, because like I said, people come with lofty plans and they get into public service and they recognize, oh, that can't be done? Oh, why can't that be done? Oh, I have to go through this? You have to do it with unions, you have to do it with policies, you have to do it with procedures. And then that stifles and slows it up.
The public service doesn't create the bureaucracy. Corruption creates the bureaucracy. Bahamians, for the most part, at these ministries do what they're told. There are police officers who will do what they're told. There are people in all government ministries, the minister tell them do it, they could just do it. And so Bahamians do what they're told. They don't want to lose their jobs.
So good point. So if you have a plan and you're saying you're just going to tell people, listen, this is what we need to implement, and they tell you, oh, no, it doesn't work that way. You need to do a minute paper on this. It has to go through this approval. It has to go through the tenders board for us to choose the right bidders. Then it has to go through this process. Then it has to go through this commission. And you're saying, no, I just want to get this done. How do you fight with that?
We don't have to fight with that. Clint, we have the professionals in all of our ministries. These are the people with the experience. They are there. Let me show you something. We had scandals recently with immigration. Do you know how we got that information that we started putting out to the public? There are persons in the ministry that didn't like what was happening, the orders they were being told. And they literally wrote on some of those things that I was ordered to do this, all right? And I'm saying this because it was put out there in the public, all right? And they wrote that. And these people in the ministries came to us. Clint, I'm sure you're paying attention to what I'm doing. The information that I release to the public, there's no way that I could get this information unless there were critical key people in these ministries who are tired of corruption. They want a country that works for them and their family. I believe that the civil servants in this country are good, decent, honest people. But what the politicians do is they bring back their cronies and put them in the public service, cut out people who are not going to do what they want to do, so put some of them on leaves and make sure that they bring back their 500 people, and you go there, you go there, you go there, and you control this. Everything goes through you now. And what they do is they cut off the civil servants. We are going to end the practice of corruption because both parties do it. And we believe that once the civil servants see that this can benefit them, their children, and their families, that they are going to go along with it. These people are not corrupt. And I can tell you, I have I have informants in every single ministry in this country.
So are you saying then that you will rely on your programs being implemented if you're elected by the people who work in the public service? Because consecutive governments have said the reason why they bring people into the public service is to ensure that they can execute their plans, because sometimes the public service on its own, it is bottlenecked. It will stall your progress.
No,
so are you saying that you won't go that route? You will go the route of using who's in the public service?
I think that they are dishonest with that, and it's because they want their corruption. Listen, they want to get what they want done, and there are some people in the civil servants who's going to say that that is not the way to do it.
So you're saying that you will use the people in the public service to execute your plan?
Within the law, you
won't bring people in to do it.
Of course, we're going to have to bring people in for certain things, to be directors in certain areas. If we want to go solar, we got to put our people to be directors to BPL, so that they could just make the simple decision, we go in solar. We tired spending money on oil, we tired spending money on generators that don't work, so we'll put people in place to be directors, etc., to make sure that we can go in the direction we need to go. And we already have people in different ministries who are ready to go. Our support on the ground is more massive than you think. And there are people in all of these ministries who are our informants. Everything they do, I know. They have meetings, they're like, how does Lincoln know? Because the people are tired. They're tired of, okay, when the F&M comes in, Pintas will put his bunch of people, bring back some old F&M faces, and everyone you see before, and it's going to be the same thing. That's what the government does. They bring the same old faces, and they corrupt the ministries, and that happens with both parties. We're tired of it. We want Bahamians to be able to thrive because they're Bahamians. And we want real vision so that our country won't be underqualified anymore. What do I mean? Because when our children get educated and come back here, they say you're overqualified. That's because our country is underqualified. We're going to bring back Bahamians from around the world. We're going to bring them home and build this new Bahamas.
I want to move on to economic diversification, because it's been a long-standing issue.
Yes.
What do you propose as a plan to expand our economy beyond just tourism?
So we have a lot of plans. It's time for us to go into industries. There are countries that move from developing nation to developed nation, and there's a couple of things they did. One thing they did was they used the natural resources to empower their people, and now their people can invest in the nation. And because every year we're looking for a vision from the politician, but it's the people who are born with purpose inside them. They're born with ideas and talents and skills. And the problem is we don't have access to capital. So we're going to use our natural resources, our carbon credits, and we are going to issue grants, etc., to make sure that our Bahamians have the money to invest in their dreams so that they can diversify this economy. That's the first thing. But also as a nation, like what Dubai and Qatar and other nations did that are now not considered developing nations, what they did was they formed companies to be able to start investing. So Dubai found some oil. It was a small amount. They said, that isn't going to last. We got to invest this and flip this money. They got a loan based on the value of their oil, and they invested into tourism. Now they're getting tens of millions of tourists while we still brag. We just scrapping 10 million and bragging about that, when we should have grown that fast. They did it like this because they had ingenuity. They thought of things. Our politicians sit back and wait for the foreigner to come and say, I want to do this. And they say, okay, you could do it. And we could brag and take the credit. That's not how this is going to work. And so in terms of diversification, why would you have a press conference patting yourself on the back because a cruise ship is going to make $10 billion in our country? Because Royal Caribbean is making $10 billion. Carnival is making $20 billion, and both of them are probably going to double because they're doing more ports. No, if the cruise business is so good, why are we not in the business? We have professionals. Hospitality is our thing. We should be owning the hotels, the major hotels. We should be owning the cruise ships. Why don't we own cruise ships? They spend millions on all manner of things. Minis borrowed, what, $4 billion in his term? I don't see it anywhere. You could have taken $1 billion and had a fleet of cruise ships that would make you money. Royal Caribbean, $10 billion. Carnival, $20 billion. We have our ability to move tourists around the Bahamas with cruise ships, to also benefit from the tourism of other nations like Jamaica, Mexico, etc., by sending our cruise ships to them. That also gives our Bahamian entrepreneurs and our talent a place to show our talent. We can take Junkanoo to the rest of the region, right? Having shows on the ship. There's a lot of things that we can do. We have to go into manufacturing. We have to bring persons in. I talked about an idea during the lockdowns where we should have brought Taiwan into the country, for example, and had them make chips, because there was a chip shortage that Biden was complaining about, and we should have capitalized on that. Mexico did some of that, where because of the bottleneck with shipping, companies spent $8 billion in Mexico to build factories, and so they could just truck stuff over and they didn't have to worry about shipping from Asia. We could have done the same thing and just ship right from the Bahamas right there. So now Trump is doing that.
Right. So so that's still tourism industry. Is there anything outside of tourism industry that you...
Yes, and so that's why I said we should go into manufacturing, but we have to get the cost of electricity down in order to be able to do that. And the reason we can't do it now is because the people who benefit from our electricity being high is not going to let you.
So what about those who are seeing the electricity go down?
Listen, if you raise my electricity by 400%, and then you reduce it from what you raised it to by 100% or 200%, it didn't go down. It went up since you've been here. So you raising my VAT to 10% when it was 0, and then bringing it down to 5%. You didn't do anything for me. You still raised it.
Let's talk about the cost of living. It's a major issue for Bahamians. What specific plans do you hope that you can implement to address that issue?
So before you go on, we have a lot of plans in there for different ways that we're going to diversify the economy and go into different areas. We're going to use our different islands. We have 700 islands that are wasting because the politicians only do, in my opinion, what they can make money from, or they have financial backers, and so we're wasting our islands, and we're going to find ways to spread to other islands, and you're going to see all of the different plans that we have in there for what you can do. So what isn't on the site now, they're loading more stuff, and so by tomorrow you'll see more and more stuff on there. And it's fluid. As persons give their ideas, the plans are going to be changing. You can go back and look, and you can see changes in there. So your second question?
Second question is diversification, not diversification, but cost of living. What are your plans to address the cost of living and to reduce it?
Well, one of the biggest costs of living, of course, is electricity, and we're going to reduce electricity by going solar right away. There are ways to do that. We spent $90 million on some generators. We could have gone solar for that and provided the same amount of power. We have a lot of sun, and we have a lot of hydro that we could benefit from in the island.
So how will you go solar? How do you plan on doing that?
Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to invest in it. Why borrow for a generator and have to spend more $30 million a month, they say, on oil, when you can spend the same thing on solar, get about the same amount of power, and cut down the $30 million.
So obviously, if they invest in a generator, it's now, so the people who lights won't go off now. So if solar isn't something that can just happen tomorrow. As a matter of fact, they're migrating to solar. There are people who are coming off of the grid now by purchasing solar. There are concessions, so people to be able to purchase solar. So solar is happening right now in the country. People who want to go with solar can do that now. So obviously, your plan will speak to I guess a more wider generation of people being able to go on solar and getting people off the grids. How quickly can that happen, though, given the capacity and the aging equipment at BPL? For example, let's say next year you become prime minister and you're elected. BPL doesn't go away. It's still there. It's still the challenged corporation that it is now, and the hard, difficult decisions to make it run. What do? You get in office. What do you do to be able to address the issue? Is it just solar, but you have to keep running this multi-million-dollar company?
Again, once you go to our plan and you look at it, you're going to see a breakdown exactly how you're going to do it, where the money is coming from, et cetera, et cetera. But we're going to go to solar. It's easier to set up solar than to set up these generators and build the facilities for them, et cetera. It is much easier to do that. And also to set up hydro, you're putting the generator in the water. It's much easier to do that. And what you get on the back end, even if it were to take longer, what you get on the back end benefits you. They're saying that they're spending, that their entire cost is $40 million a month. That's BPL. And so if your cost is $40 million, that's almost $500 million a year, with $10 million a month going to your operations and $30 million going to fuel. And that has now increased a little bit. And so now you cut out a lot of that gradually. As you build the solar plants, you now cut down the amount of generators you need. So you don't just say, we put in solar and cut off all the generators today. It's going to be a gradual phase approach. So it's going to be reasonable. We have candidates who are CPAs. We have 2 CPAs on board. We have engineers. We have a lot of talented people on board. So this is not just a plan that's coming from off the air. All right? And so we're going to make that happen. So that's the first thing with cost of living. Electricity is the biggest cost, because if you charge super value for electricity, they're going to put it in the price of the food.
Correct.
And so that's one of the biggest problems. All businesses have to put all of their costs in the service. Otherwise, you can't do business. And so that's a part of it. So we're going to reduce electricity by going solar and hydro. All right? More details in our plans. Where also the cost of food has to go down, and the cost of housing has to go down. One of the reasons the cost of housing skyrocketed, so now you're seeing 1-bedroom apartment go up to $1,500 a month, which is mind-blowing.
It's crazy.
$800 mortgage a few years ago would seem like mind-blowing.
It's unacceptable.
And so the reason it went up was, one, because of Dorian, a lot of the people from Africa had to migrate, and so the inventory of apartments went down drastically.
Supply and demand.
Right. And so a lot of them have gone back home, some of them, but what happened is when this government came in, there was an influx. There was also an earthquake too, but there was an influx of migrants that came into New Providence especially, and they have to go somewhere. And a lot of them, as we're going door to door knocking now, we're seeing that there are houses and apartments full of immigrants, full of them.
They went to rent after the shanty downs were moved.
Yes.
They went to rent.
Right. And so they are in our apartments, and so now there's no availability. The same thing happened in Canada. They brought in a lot of immigrants to come and try to build their economy, because more people mean more money. But they didn't increase their housing, and that caused the housing in Canada to go up. And so what we have to do is, one, we have to remove immigrants who are not supposed to be here, and we have to close the door. All right? We have no problem with immigration. People say, oh, CY doesn't like Haitians. We love all people, including Haitians. We have a lot of Haitians who support us. It's them who gave us the information about what's happening in immigration. That funeral thing where they gave out the citizenship, technically, the Haitians gave that recording to me. All right? So we have Haitians who don't want this country to fall apart either. All right? They don't want it to turn into what they came from. And so the first thing we have to do is we have to stop the illegal immigrants from coming in, which we can do very easily. They don't seem to want to do it. Once we take the corruption from immigration, where you can't buy papers anymore and that kind of stuff, and no one is making money from it, it's going to close the door. And so once that happens, the inventory is going to be better. If you don't belong here, you're going home. All right? It's simple, because I can't suffer by having to pay $1,500 for a 1-bedroom apartment because I love you more than I love me and my family and my Bahamians. You're making it harder for all of us because we can't take the load. All right? And so it's just a reality. We don't have the housing. We don't have another hospital. And so there's beds that is not there for our people. And so it's costing everything to go up. So to the cost of living, we are going to make sure that we have a housing boom, to make sure that we have more housing for Bahamians, and that we start building apartment complexes the way they do in the U.S., even here in New Providence. And we're also going to do initiatives, including marinas. There's a lot of plans that I can't explain in a quick second, but we're going to do initiatives to drive people back to the Family Islands. The Family Islands are the key to the New Bahamas, because if you get more people out of Nassau, automatically you don't need as much housing here, and it reduces the cost. So there's a lot of things that we're going to do on the Family Islands, businesses, other business opportunities, and encourage people and give incentives to put things there that's going to cause people to want to move back home. Our Family Island people don't want to live in Nassau. They want to go home, but there's nothing home for them. We're going to put something home for them.
Let's take a final break, and then we'll be back to conclude. We're back after this. Stay close.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
I don't know, but what kind of cars is parking on? You ain't even know where to park. If you just don't park in the, look at this way. Like you ain't get nowhere to go. Don't park him. Just don't park on the gas. Yeah, that's on the gas. Don't park. You can't park on the gas. I ain't gonna be that long. I ain't gonna be that long. On the gas spot, boy, what's going on, dog? I tell you we shouldn't park here now. This way parking, bro. I tell you we shouldn't park here. Don't get one of these things. My broad big broke, and he got a sticker inside to say this mother, we gotta move. This is honey gas. That's what we gotta move. But we gotta move. Don't leave it right now. Sorry.
Be considerate. Don't use disabled parking spaces without a decal in your vehicle. This message is brought to you by the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities.
Welcome back. And just before we conclude our conversation with Lincoln Bay, we opened this broadcast and I'm talking to you about eggs, and the prices have gone to $3.79 on the shelves. Take a look at these photos. Since we've been telling you all day about eggs and the price of eggs, take a look. That's Super Value. The shelves are completely empty. The people have rushed into Super Value, and they have, you can see by the way the condition of those shelves, they were yucking. They was yucking them eggs off the shelf. They wasn't politely taking a crate or two. They was yucking them off, Lincoln. They go and get their eggs. The shelves are now empty. Boy, if anybody won today of Super Value, because those eggs are completely gone.
Getting cases of them. Cases.
Cases?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I saw that with my own eyes today.
That's absolutely crazy. That's absolutely crazy. We're winding down now, and I wanted to talk about your view on foreign direct investment. What is your party's position on foreign direct investment? Because it's something that we're all familiar with and used to. What do you say to that?
Every country needs foreign direct investment, even the first world countries, even America, etc. But it's time for Bahamians to also be able to do that. Now, the fastest way to bring together all of the people's resources is to use a sovereign wealth fund or their country's resources to form companies that Bahamians will be able to own and then go into these industries along with the foreigners, because they can bring their expertise. And so you will see what happened when we brought Atlantis. We gave them everything in the kitchen sink. But when they went to Dubai, they told them, you're going to own half and the people of Dubai are going to own half. All right? Not the government. The people are going to own half. And that's what was important to them, to make sure that their people can benefit. Our GDP, 12, 13, 14, 15 billion, it fluctuates. But that's not real GDP, because that money isn't going to us. We're just the servants. But if we could have owned a portion of that, let's say we own 50% of what comes in. If our GDP is 12 or 13 billion, we got 6 billion that stays here. Our whole government budget is only 3 billion. All right, and so we have real GDP that benefits our economy and continues to build our economy. So we will have foreign investors, and they are also looking for investments, because all the time they don't have the money to do their dreams. That's not how business works. When Atlantis came, they got loans from our banks. Bahama got loans from our banks. So you call them foreign investors, but in many cases, they use our money in order to do what they're doing. And so if they can partner with us now, because we use money from our sovereign wealth fund, from our natural resources and our carbon credits, and just our money, our sovereign credit, then we would be able to keep that money here and benefit all Bahamians. Someone asked a question, are we going to borrow? Of course, initially we're going to borrow. Dubai did that to get their kickstart, but Singapore is one of the worst. They have the highest borrowing rate, but their country is still AAA because they are only allowed to borrow for things they can make money from.
Right.
All right. So that's like someone borrowing for a vacation. That's bad borrowing. Right. Someone borrowing to build do a business or do a fourplex, etc. That's going to make money for you and pay for itself. And so that's how Singapore borrows. We are going to now, instead of borrowing billions like these governments are doing, and you don't see where it's going, we are going to borrow for things that our country can make money from. All right, and that's what's going to be the difference. And that's just initially as we get everything together with our natural resources and everything else. All right?
Sounds good. Again, you run me up on time every time because it's so good talking to you, to hear perspective and to hear what it is that you aspire to do and how to get it done. It's always a pleasure, Lincoln Payne. Thank you,
man. It's always
for coming on.
To be here.
And it's the only time I get to watch COI supporters go crazy on my feed.
And I want to thank all the people who came out, Clint. Yeah. They came out in massive numbers. They just said they turned away hundreds of people who couldn't find parking. There wasn't enough parking at Fusion. People were sitting on the ground. Can you imagine elderly people, couples, husband and wives in their 60s and 70s sitting on the ground because they wanted to be there? The whole hallway was packed. Everything was packed. And so we just want to thank Bahamians, and it shows that Bahamians want something different, Clint.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Always a pleasure, and hopefully this won't be the last time. You got a lot to talk about. I like people who have substance and can talk about stuff. Thank you, Lincoln, for sharing your plans with us. We appreciate it. That does it for the rundown. Be sure to stay locked on the ZNS network for the Bahamas tonight at 11. It's the final newscast of the evening, of course, with Royston Jones. He should be in the building, and the teleprompter operator should probably wake up about now. Thanks so much for joining us. For all of us here at ZNS News, I'm Clint Watson. Please have a safe night. Good night.
Montague, I'm Opal Roach. This is ZNS.